Hello, friends. Welcome back.
What's
We
up?
are going to finish up this giant-sized special.
But Benicio, as I was saying, that hour one delay. Check out this
Yes.
one. This is the normal attack speed, right? How about this one?
Oh,
That's some R1 delay.
right.
All right, we're exactly where we left off too. Isn't it funny? We teleported 2 hours into the future and no one knows the difference. Technology.
Yeah. We have the technology.
I'll tell you, man, of all mankind's greatest mechanical inventions, motorcycles sits right underneath airplanes, man. There's so much freedom packed into one little machine.
Right.
Speaking of technology, just a random thought. I was actually going to say that earlier, but
Okay, so we were just kind of going over some things about like the foundations of like the Wakandan culture and stuff. Um,
right.
Another thing on that note worth mentioning is that the Panther clan has a
Uh-huh.
deity. That's like this African deity that they worship, and its name is Bast.
So spell that for me.
Bast.
Bast. That's a
Bast
cool name.
is the Panther god.
Like a shortened version of Bastion.
Right.
Um, who was it? Sorry, what was his name? Warmonger got resurrected, right?
Killmonger.
We were talking about that. Killmonger. Sorry, apologies. Killmonger. Warmonger. Yeah, Killmonger. He got resurrected.
Yep.
So, and it took about six other people to killing themselves. Correct?
Yeah. About that.
That's
The,
some serious devotion to just a normal guy. He doesn't have any superpowers, right?
not really. I mean, he's just a pretty badass dude. He's also like super smart. Like he went to school in
Ah.
America, and he's got like a PhD or something. And
Oh.
I think
So
he's
he's got a PhD, but he didn't abandon his primal way. How interesting.
right. Um, and he runs like a village uh, in Wakanda, and I think that he's into like gene therapy and stuff. So like I think he may have like done some gene therapy to like enhance his strength and stamina and whatnot. But outside of that, like no,
You mean that the Wakanda genes he already had that were super badass to begin with?
right? Oh, we just got a comment or a chat thing. Uh, it's from Morcat.
Oh.
He said, "What's up, Nocturnum and Venicio? What's up, Morcat?"
What's up, more cat?
That's cool.
How's
How
the boys hanging?
the chat just comes up on the TV. That's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Um, but yeah, so he's just a badass. Uh, okay, so Bast, I was saying, um,
Yep.
the way that like I guess the afterlife of the Black Panthers work is
Mm-hmm.
I think it has something to do with the heart shaped herb, probably like if you're actually looking at it scientifically, but they don't. Uh, Basically, once you've become Black Panther and you're chieftain of the Panther clan, and most of them, if not all of them, were also king of Wakanda.
Right, right.
Um, they have like their own afterlife that's just for the Black Panthers, and
Really?
yes, so like everyone who's ever been Black Panther like lives in this like paradise, and um, T'Challa and like or whoever's living at the time can use like this type of meditation with the heart shaped herb to like visit the ancestors and get counsel from them.
Wait a second. In the previous episode, didn't we mention something about he's kind of got the spirit of all the Black Panthers before him as well?
Yes, because when their soul goes to this place, and the place is called the Panther God Pavilion, their soul goes there. It also like merges with the other Black Panthers, so they're like they have all their individuality, but they're also one soul.
Gotcha. So, forgive me for making this reference, but are you familiar with Avatar: The Last Airbender?
A little bit,
Yeah, it's kind of like that. They all have their own individual personalities, but share a soul
right?
in a way. It's kind of cool.
Also, the Avengers show up again throughout this, but this time their lineup is a little different from the last lineup that we saw. Because last time the Avengers crossed paths with Black Panther, it was Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, uh, Giant Man and Wasp, Wonder Man, Scarlet Witch, and Vision.
Right.
Well, this time there's not as many of them. The current lineup of the Avengers at this point is Wasp, who is the chairman, so she's leading the Avengers. And then, okay, you know her husband, Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man.
Right.
He has had like several different personas throughout Marvel history. He's been Ant-Man, Giant Man, Goliath, Yellow Jacket, and like he's a freaking nutcase, man. Like he's had like psychotic breaks, and then usually when he has like a psychotic break, he'll change personas.
Wow.
And like he's a freaking psycho. But at this point, he's Goliath.
Okay.
And then Iron Man is still there, and but this time there's She-Hulk and a new Avenger called Triathlon. And Triathlon has...
Wait, did you say She-Hulk?
Yes, She-Hulk.
Interesting.
Triathlon's deal
Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom.
is that he has 3 times the peak potential strength, speed, and stamina of a normal human.
Really?
Three
So he's
three
3X
times.
Captain America.
Yeah, like 3 times peak potential.
Good lord.
And he is also, just like his personality, he is a sheep. He's in a cult.
Did you say he's a sheep?
Yeah, he's in a cult.
As in, he's very malleable.
Yes.
Okay.
But he is in this weird.
Mentally malleable.
Yeah, he's in this weird cult. Okay, another character that shows up in this is a character named Vibraxis,
Interesting.
and he's Wakandan also.
Why is his name Vibraxis? Vibranium?
He has like vibrational powers. I think I think his origin had something to do with vibranium. I'm assuming. I don't know if he was like struck by lightning while he was holding it, or he ate a piece in his cream of wheat by accident. I don't know. But,
by the way, welcome to the profaned capital.
no.
Another one of my favorite areas.
Okay.
It's rather confusing, but it's quite beautiful. It's an underground city, as you can see,
Right.
and it used to be the capital of the Dark Souls world. It's the profaned, like profanity. It's,
Right. It's profane.
Yeah. I'm actually not sure the definition of profane by itself. I know it's negative.
Like foul.
There we go. Foul. I like it. I just haven't read a message that says be wary of right. Oh, that's why.
But yes, basically he just he sends out like these. He can send out like destructive vibrations.
Cool.
And he can also
That
like
seems-
vibrate at different frequencies, so he can like phase through things.
Dude, that that sounds like a pretty OP power. Like
Yeah,
there's a
it's
lot of
it
there's a lot
it.
of
Oh, go ahead.
there's a lot of potential there. I could see like a lot of it being like scientifically way, as in like, oh yeah, he vibrated at the frequency of that bullet and it
Oh
passed
yeah, he
right
does. He
through.
does it all the time, all the time.
Wasn't Vision able to do that as well?
Vision does it, but not through vibration. Vision is just, well, he's an android, and he has the ability to alter his density.
Oh,
So it's the same outcome, but a different process.
right.
Another character, and actually probably the most important that appears in
That
the
is a
series.
mimic. I got this. You ready?
Yep.
Watch this. Boom! Boom! Stay down.
But another character that makes a big appearance in this is Claw.
All right. Who's Claw? What was the
Claw.
guy's name? Hold on. Let me get this. Let me get my notepad out here. So the guy, I'm dead ass
No, it's
serious
cool.
here.
Wear it out.
Hold on. Let me find it. Technology, future. All right. So we got Vibraxis. I'm just gonna. I know who they are. I'm just gonna write the names down.
Right.
Who was the guy with 3 times peak potential? And he was. Wait, is Vibraxis an Avenger at this point?
No, he's just a character. He's a Wakandan.
Just makes an appearance. All right. And the 3X guy is.
Triathlon.
He is an Avenger right now, right?
Yes.
All right. And who else?
Claw.
Claw.
Okay,
Is
so
he an Avenger?
no, Claw is T'Challa's arch nemesis. Like he is the #1 villain of Black Panther.
Really?
Yes. Claw killed T'Challa's father.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
Like he hates Claw. And basically Claw is this British guy who back in the day was like the first white people or outsiders to like find out about Wakanda and what they really were. And
Okay.
so he petitioned T'Chaka to allow him to have like mining rights so that he could mine some vibranium. And of course T'Chaka refused. And so
Right.
he attacked with like a, I guess like a PMC or something, and they just like raided the place, and he was trying to like wipe out Wakanda to get the vibranium, and they won. But he killed T'Chaka, and
Uh-oh.
he got his hand cut off, and he had the hand replaced with a claw, and
Well, that was annoying.
right, there's some more over here too. Oh,
So they got it replaced with a claw.
yeah, and like he designed the claw, he made the claw out of vibranium, and he designed it to be like a sonic cannon.
Really?
Yeah. So he could like shoot
All
like
right,
these
so
sound waves out, and then eventually through
That's
like some type of like comic book history that I don't remember exactly what happened, he gained but he can like manifest as like a corporeal form and be tangible. Uh, and the last time that him and T'Challa crossed paths,
DCO.
disrupted or something. Oh shit! I thought that was like a secret wall. I fell down a hole.
No, it's that's an actual giant, and he's alive.
Yeah. And they put a
Slug.
slug there. Man, they're good about that kind of shit.
Yeah. Let's get him.
Uh,
Oof. Ow, he hurts. Oh my god.
yeah.
that hurts.
Yeah, he does. So, damn, how do we fight him? Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know if we can. I'm not seeing an opening. It's just
I'm hacking at his arms, but it's not giving me damage numbers. Maybe we just got to run by.
there we go. And now hit him, lay into him.
Okay, so you do hack the arms.
Yeah. Ow. But you gotta dodge him.
Yeah.
Oh, he killed me.
Oh no.
Maybe. Well, you got the slug, right? We'll just come back later and not fight him.
All right.
Holy crap! That was nuts.
He killed me.
Sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting you. Your internet connection is really choppy. I'm just letting you know that. It's probably PlayStation Network. It's got so much traffic that it
Yeah,
can't handle it.
that's a big thing right now. But I was saying last time, Claw. Can you hear me all right now?
Yeah, I'm just gonna put my summoning sign down at the bonfire for you.
So last, T'Challa basically used something.
And you're gone again.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
Damn it.
I mean, it's not horrible, but it is cutting into like a good portion of your sentences.
Okay. I guess I'm just gonna say some words and see how they sound. Can you comprehend my audibles?
I can indeed.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll clear up here.
Okay, Morecat says coming across fine for stream.
Coming across what?
Morecat said coming across fine for stream.
Oh, okay. So it's probably just a PlayStation Network thing. I will try to get my best to keep up with you.
Which, I mean, still, we'll just have to try to get through it. Well, what I was saying was that last time Claw and T'Challa faced off, T'Challa used something, I don't know what, to basically, like, disrupt his sound wave form, and basically he just, like, dissipated. So he still exists, but he's just not cohesive.
Really? So he's basically a vapor.
Yeah. Another thing that's really cool that I like about the Marvel Universe, and something that I really wish that they would get into in the movies. I understand not doing it all at once because you just be like, what the fuck? But like easing into it is there's a lot of there's a lot of other nations, like fictional nations outside of like just Wakanda.
Right.
You know, there's
Right.
there's Atlantis. There's Genosha, which is Magneto's island nation. For
That would have
mutants.
been cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, my summoning sign is down at the bonfire for you. I don't know if you can do that.
I'm just waiting for it to come up.
Alright.
Uh,
Make sure you're remembered.
Alright. Oh, shit. But there's another civilization, and they're called the Lemurians.
They're called what now?
The Lemurians.
Lemurians.
Yeah.
That's-
They're not.
okay.
Okay, you know, like the Inhumans.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
They're a lot like the Inhumans. They have a similar origin. Basically, the Inhumans are a byproduct, like an offshoot of evolution for humanity because the Kree experimented on their ancestors.
Alright.
The Lemurians are the same thing, except it was the Celestials that experimented on them. It wasn't the Kree. It was a different alien race.
The Celestials, and those are a pretty powerful presence in the Marvel Universe, right?
Yes.
Alright, by the way, just real quick about the game. We're gonna sprint through here and not even engage. Just follow me.
Alright.
Alright?
I'm following.
Because I don't feel like Alright, I don't feel like killing all these enemies again.
Alright. Sprint. Oh no, fuck. I ran off the edge.
Right behind you. Oh boy, keep going, keep going, keep
I
going.
am. Just had to get to the stairs.
Alright, cross the bridge. The bridge is back here. Cross the bridge. Avoid the pokies. Turn left or die. Oops, that's not your other left. It's down here. There it is. You
Damn
still
it.
on me?
I lost you.
Drop down.
Okay. Alright.
Alright, this way, this way, this way. Run, run, run for all you're worth.
I'm running.
Ignore him, ignore him, ignore him. Alright. We made it. We freaking made it. You did get that slug,
Hold on.
right?
Yes. We have enemies coming. They're like trying to follow us.
Can he even fit through that? Hell no, he can't.
Alright.
You ugly bastard.
So, you know how the Inhumans, they're normal until they,
Yeah, they do their trial.
Yeah, they breathe in the Terrigen mist, and then that manifests their, like, mutation, and they, like, celebrate diversity, like, conformity by diversity.
Right.
Well, the Lemurians, they are just born with whatever it is they have. And most of them,
okay.
most
so
of
they're
them
born
also,
and raised with it.
yeah, and also most of them don't really get any like badass powers. They're kind of just fucked up. Like,
Oh man. But some of them. Right?
yeah,
Some of
yeah.
them.
You'll get some that can like maybe go toe to toe with like the Fantastic Four and lose badly, but you know they'll live.
Really. And lose badly.
I could see them, like, if there was a shit ton of them, I could see them overpowering the Thing if he was alone. But, and, their society, like, geographically, it's under the ocean, but they're not water breathers like the Atlanteans. The Atlanteans
Really?
are water breathers. The Lemurians live in like this. It's like an air pocket cavern that's on the ocean floor.
That's cool. So like a sink. What's it called? Not a sink, but the thing under a sink. I don't remember what it's called. Sorry.
I don't know.
Oh, hey, look. What's this? Oh, it's the other side of the giant. Alright. Let's see what's this way first. Definitely don't want to drop down there and that'll kill you. Is there nothing at all, huh?
So what, do we gotta fight him? Like, I don't know.
Nope. No, we can go back up. This is just a shortcut around from when he's dead,
Okay.
I assume.
And the interesting thing, though, about all that is that, see, the Lemurians and the Atlanteans are allies.
Yeah. Okay.
And Atlantis has a mutual defense agreement it's between Atlantis, Genosha, and Latveria, which is Doctor Doom's country.
Damn.
The three of them have a mutual defense agreement to
Well,
where
what we
if
can't
the
come back this way.
right, but it's if the mainstream world attacks any of them, they all come to each other's aid.
Right.
And
So here's a safe spot to drop down, and a ladder that leads somewhere. But we should probably go explore this little sewer entrance real quick.
and of course
This
we know that there's Wakanda, and that Wakanda is allied with America.
right. There's a rat still left alive here. That was funny.
And one last character to go over.
Yep.
His name, we talked about him some last week, and I know that Morecat knows this character. His name is M'Baku.
Yep.
M'Baku is my
Ooh,
favorite
hold on.
Wakanda. I know, hit the chest once.
That one's not a mimic. This one is.
And M'Baku is the leader of the Jabari tribe, which is
Right.
the rival clan of the Panther clan.
Oh, good God. We're getting ambushed by... tell me what those items you got just real quick. I'm sorry. I want to know what they were, because they better be worth this. We're going to die probably right here. Nope.
Nope. No, we're
But
not.
what items did you get for that ambush? I'm curious.
Let's see. A minute ago, I got an Estus shard.
Nice.
I got some. So I picked up some souls, like some crestfallen souls.
I mean, was it weapons, armor, anything cool?
No.
Sorry, I'm just...
No.
I think they were rings. You probably got a good ring.
I'll check.
Alright.
Yeah, this milk ring is new.
Oh!
Slightly boosts dex and obscures. No, that's not new. I'm wearing that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, it's this other one, the Karthus Blood Ring. Boosts rolling invincibility at the cost of defense.
That's the one I have equipped.
That's what I got.
To be honest, having both of them equipped is one hell of a boost.
I bet. One cat said, the man ape. Yes, M'Baku's moniker is man ape.
Gotcha.
Like I said, he's leader of the Jabari clan, which is the rival clan for the Panther clan. And at this point that we're in the Marvel era or whatever, T'Challa has actually outlawed the worship of the White Gorilla God, which is who they worship, and outlawed the Jabari tribe, and their lands are forbidden.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Well, I'm down here now.
Yeah. M'Baku's hands down my favorite Wakandan. He's a very honorable villain.
Really?
Yes.
Honorable as in just honorable?
Yeah, he definitely
So-
has his code that he goes by. Like he lives, he's like lives the life of like a warrior and a king.
Yep.
And like he's challenged T'Challa, for his leadership several times and openly hates him, but he's always done so in ritual combat and in official ceremonial proceedings.
Right. Let me see if I can find my way back to you here. I found a very, very large ladder. That leads to the top of the giant again.
Uh, I gotta say too, man. Like I love that in the movie when
Do what?
I love it in the Infinity War movie when M'Baku stands beside T'Challa and Captain America to fight Thanos.
I just woke the giant up.
You woke him up.
Yeah, and I'm gonna die for it.
Oh
Yeah, I'm
shit!
dead. Sorry about that.
It's all good. He fucking turned his attention to me. I rolled off the edge, and now I'm down here killing rats and slicing at his feet.
Nice. You'll get
Die! You will die!
him. I have faith. You'll get him.
These damn rats.
Right? They definitely don't make it easy.
They're fucking me up. Oh my god. I got like caught in this loop of like hitboxes I couldn't get out.
I have faith we can get this guy, man.
I did it.
Hell yeah, just stay down there. I'll come put my summoning sign down for you.
The giant is slain.
Hell yeah, man. I'm almost there.
So kind of the way I figured we go about this too, since it's a crossover, is like just kind of like pick up where we left off with T'Challa and run up until Deadpool shows up, and then kind of back up and see like Deadpool's view of things, and then go from there.
This is interesting. My giant is still alive on my game, and there's still items down there. I guess I completely avoided him.
Wow. Well, not everybody can slay the giant as magnificently as Vinicio.
Yuck.
Yuck, yuck. There's a large titanite chunk and a profane flame in those items.
Profaned flame. What is that? Is that a weapon? I think that... Oh, that's a spell. Yeah, I just picked it up myself.
Okay. Yeah, engulf foes at range and burn them to ashes.
Hell yeah, dude.
So, when we last left Killmonger off, he had Ross and Monica at his place in his village, but he wasn't doing anything nefarious. They were just like, he was just like feeding them and making sure they were alright because they were lost in the jungle.
Right.
But at the same time, he had like hired all those people to attack T'Challa in America. Well, at this point, he reveals to Monica that his goal is he wants to crash the Wakandan economy because he feels like if he can do that, then that'll be a big blow to T'Challa, and he can then take advantage of that and overthrow him. And T'Challa is expecting this, of course, because he's T'Challa. And so what he does is like a preemptive strike. Yeah.
Alright, I have now killed the giant myself.
Right on.
Excuse me. Alright, put my summoning sign down. But how's he gonna crash, and why is he telling these strangers, if you will, his plan? That seems a little weird.
Yeah. I guess so that way the reader would know it.
Right, right.
But
It's one of those asides where like we kind of have to let you know what's going on here.
you bastard, you got me monologuing. But like I said, T'Challa expecting this, and as a preemptive strike, what he does is he completely dissolves the Wakandan Parliament, like their entire government. He just like shuts it all down and dissolves it, fires everybody.
Really?
And he like nationalizes all the foreign companies and brings the value of the Wakandan coin down to like zero. It's worthless.
He did that. What? Just as for wow. So he did it himself.
Yes.
Interesting. And very very. So there's two ways to go here. Let's pick one. I think we should go this way. But yeah, so he did it himself so that he could Warmonger, is it Warmonger you said?
Killmonger.
Killmonger, sorry, it's stuck in my head as Warmonger for some reason.
Right.
That is a mimic.
The murderer. A lot of mimics here.
Indeed. Their death crack. Oh, what did he drop?
Dragon Slayer lightning arrows.
Ooh. Good shit. Good shit. Alright, any secret walls, good sir?
I don't believe so. But I will slash at them.
And there's a ladder. But, alright, so he crashes his own economy.
Yeah.
But it's a controlled crash as well, so.
Right. Basically, the incentive of that is that if Killmonger did it, and he would be expecting it, and he would be able to like maneuver his stocks and stuff around to where he would come out super rich because of it also. So T'Challa doing it like this took away his advantage. But also, I mean, he's affected because Killmonger is Wakandan. Like, your money's worthless too now.
Right.
He just wasn't able to use his stocks to get rich on American money. Oh no! Hey, I found my soul.
What'd you
I tried to make that jump.
Oh no.
I'm alive. It didn't kill me. So also when we last left off with T'Challa, Brother Voodoo had showed up because there was like a disturbance in the force, in the veil between life and death.
Right.
And T'Challa was like, well, no shit, there's a disturbance between the veil between life and death. This is Marvel, man. Like, people are popping up from the dead nonstop. Like, he's like, I got Killmonger over here, just came back to life. Don't have a clue how it happened. But anyway, so T'Challa and his bodyguard Zuri and Brother Voodoo, they all go to that resurrection altar to investigate, to see if it had something to do with Killmonger's resurrection, which we know that it did, but
but they don't.
Right. And when they get there, the Killmonger's there, and he attacks them, and so they get in a big brawl. Ooh, that was close.
Whoa, buddy!
Right.
You had nothing left.
So like the good guys are able to fight off Killmonger and like his men.
Hey, do you see him?
Yeah.
Siegwart's in there.
Yeah.
Can you talk to him?
Yep. Here we go.
Pardon me, I was absorbed in thought. Oh, look at me. Trapped like a rat. But you needn't worry. I've just been sitting here weighing my options. The moment has almost come. I just need a bit more time. The key. My liberation.
I need a key. His liberation requires a key.
Indeed, it does. We'll come back to him later.
Uh,
I think. I'm not sure.
so also remember
Oh.
I was talking about that company, the Wakandan Design Group.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Well,
That's death.
yeah, when the economy tanked, its stock plummeted. Also,
Oh. Oh no, dude. Not good.
and
Uh.
so when that stock plummeted to like super cheap, Tony Stark swoops in and buys it all.
But he knows it's gonna come back up though. He has to know that, right?
Right. I mean, honestly, he mainly did it because the Wakanda Design Group is the company that manufactures the Quinjets for the Avengers, and so that
Right.
means that they're
And they
privy
kinda need
to like
that
some
stuff.
inside info, and they didn't want to fall
Ooh,
into the
hey,
wrong hands.
Ledger.
Damn it! Oh, I'm good. But basically, he just picked it up to hold it. You know.
I have the silver cat ring, so if there's nothing up here, is there anything up here for you?
No.
Oh dear. There's gotta be.
Hold by the. Oh,
No. Oh god.
I'm dead as hell.
Bye, Steve-O.
Dead as hell.
Bye, Benicio.
Super dead. But yeah, so Tony
Oh
Stark.
my god, we have to do all that again.
So Tony Stark buys up all that stock.
Right.
And so Brother Voodoo, after all that,
Voodoo, you voodoo.
Hoodoo, he decides to recruit Moon Knight into his quest for trying to figure out what's causing this disturbance. He figures that since Moon Knight, communicates with the Egyptian god of the dead, then he might know something about what's going on.
Right.
And also at this point, like Killmonger, he challenges T'Challa to ritual combat for a chieftain of the Panther Clan.
Again?
Again.
Oh wait, no, I'm getting him confused with the gorilla guy.
Oh yeah. Which, I mean, they've both done it several times, so I mean, again, it's not really unnecessary. But yeah, he's not challenging for the throne of Wakanda, just the chieftain of the Panther Clan.
Right.
They fight, dude. They fight for 13 hours.
What?
Yeah. And then, like in the middle of the fight, the rest of like his group, like Ross, Zuri, Monica, and that Queen Divine Justice, they all like fly by in a jet, and they're like, oh, they're fighting, and then like they swoop down, and Ross is like, go T'Challa, like you're the fucking man, or like something like that, just being an idiot. And T'Challa normally has like really sharp senses, but he's been fighting for 13 hours, so when they did that, it spooked him, and he was like, what? And like that left an opening, and Killmonger just like smashed his ass into a coma.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Like he was briefly presumed dead. But
Dude, seriously?
yeah. He like double axe handles him like right in the chest and throat area, and then just like beats him down.
So that means he won.
Well, the ritual combat goes to death or yield. He's not dead, he's in a coma. So pretty much once everyone realizes, hey, he's alive, he's not dead, Killmonger like moves in for the kill because he's going to end the ritual and win. And Ross steps in and stops him, and he's like, I am acting Panther Clan chieftain and acting king of Wakanda, and I yield in T'Challa's name.
Oh shit.
And everybody's like, what'd you do? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Why would you do that? And he's like, well, he was gonna kill it.
Right, but still, oh shit.
So now, Killmonger is chieftain of the Panther Clan, and aka he is the Black Panther.
Wait, what?
Killmonger now holds the title of Black Panther, chieftain of the Panther Clan, not T'Challa.
I guess I'm not following. I thought Black Panther meant he was the king, and the
No,
chieftain.
no, Black Panther. You can be king of Wakanda, and you can be chief of the Panther Clan. And the chief of the Panther Clan is the Black Panther. It's just incidental that the kings have always been the Black Panther.
Gotcha. Now I follow.
So Killmonger's the Black Panther. He's like, all right. So he just takes off. He's like, I win. See y'all later. And Dr. Voodoo grabs everyone and teleports them to this place that he knows about where he's going to investigate this disturbance. And it's called the Tranquility Temple. And it's basically like a mystical hospital type place. He's like, here.
Right. So, but before you go any further, now that Killmonger is Black Panther, does that mean he gets treated to the herb?
Yes.
Oh shit! So he's gonna. Interesting. Now, my question for you is: are there able to be multiple people affected by this herb at the same time? So
Yeah.
T'Challa is not going to lose his power, right?
No. Yeah, you get like they call it the heart-shaped herb, but really there's several of them. It's just like a plant that they cultivate and grow.
Right. And the only reason that they don't all take it is probably because it's very limited.
Yeah, kinda. It's not as limited as you would think, but mainly they just hold it in such reverence. You know, it's like
Gotcha.
this is power fit for a king and a king only. But basically, Dr. Voodoo's plan is like, we'll bring T'Challa here. He's in a coma. He'll go on some kind of like journey in his head, and because not only is his body broken, his spirit is now broken. So he's got to do that whole deal. That trope that's been in like every piece of fiction ever.
Now, how is it that Killmonger, was able to get the better of T'Challa other than the distraction? Like, he doesn't have any he's not enhanced, is he?
Like I was saying, I think he has used like gene therapy and like scientific means to like enhance his like cellular structure and stuff. But I mean, he doesn't have like superpowers.
I wasn't trying to poke holes. It was just that, T'Challa was able to take on 6 of the best warriors at once.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Killmonger is also like Killmonger has been like a nefarious villain of T'Challa's for a while. Like, he's almost on equal footing. But not quite. So, Moon Knight uses this kind of like weird mystic Egyptian meditation to like kind of go into T'Challa's head and like help him on the journey so that they can get him back quicker.
Right, and find out where he's at.
Right. So they go to the land of the dead. And once there, they find...
I always love Land of the Dead.
Right.
Always.
But once they're there, they find Khonshu, the Egyptian god of the dead. And they're like conferring with him, trying to figure out like, what do they need to do and everything. And see, T'Challa is trying to find the Panther God Pavilion. He's trying to find Bast so that he can get counsel from his god and his ancestors.
Right.
So Khonshu takes them to the Panther God Pavilion, where they find that like all the panthers there all the panther spirits have been killed.
Wait, what? Say that again?
They go to the Panther God Pavilion to find that like all of the panther spirits there are dead.
What? How do you... Oh, shit. Dude, you said that was such monotone, but that's a huge fucking deal, or a huge deal. Damn.
Right. I mean, yeah, it for sure is. And then Khonshu does the whole Scooby Doo thing where he's like, "I'm not even really Khonshu." He's like, I'm
And a
actually,
T-Rex appears.
right." He's like, "I'm actually Nightmare," and Nightmare is a Doctor Strange villain.
Ah,
He's basically is this spirit that like feeds off of people's like dream energy, and so he like induces people with nightmares and causes all types of like illusions and shit.
ew.
Uh, so back in like the land of the living, Ross, because see at this point in their on their side, it's been like 8 days that
Damn.
they've been there, and Ross is like, this is taking too long. Wakanda needs a king while T'Challa's not here. There's still a nation to run, so he's like, I'm going to step up. So what Ross does, he goes to find Doctor Voodoo because he's gonna like has some plan. He doesn't say what it is, but he goes to find Doctor Voodoo, and when he goes like into the room where he is, he's like meditating, and he grabs him, and he's like, "Hey," and he falls over. His throat's been slit.
What?
Dum,
And
dum.
the T-Rex was actually a T-Rex.
Actually, I'm a broom.
Dude, what? How? Who? What? How? Wasn't Voodoo just in the spirit realm helping T'Challa find...
No, that was Moon Knight.
Oh, okay. So they've all just kind of been chilling in this temple.
Yeah.
Okay. And
That's-
somebody just snuck in and slit his throat.
Yes. So, in the land of the
Did
dead,
you say Voodoo was like the veil in between?
Well, I
Is he a
mean-
very powerful character?
he's like a witch doctor. I mean, he has like access to a lot of magic and shit, but I mean, he could still be killed. He's a human. But I guess also it is worth mentioning he did not die from his throat being slit. He survives.
Oh, so he's just really weak and like
Yeah, he can't talk. All that.
semi-comatose.
Right.
Okay.
So like back
Sorry, I
in
didn't expect somebody to survive getting their throat slit.
right. Well, maybe he did some magic. I don't know. So like back in the land of the dead, since it's like it ends up being Nightmare and not Khonshu, it's kind of revealed that those panther spirits weren't actually dead. That was part of the illusion.
Oh.
That was part of the illusion. And
Okay.
but Nightmare does actually have their souls imprisoned, and he's like feeding off of their dream energy.
I didn't know souls had dream energy. Interesting.
I didn't either. I don't really know what dream energy is. Doesn't really make sense. Sunspot absorbing neutrinos producing cognitive radiation. So T'Challa and Moon Knight find the Book of the Dead, and they use it to locate Nightmare's realm because he like is from his own realm, and like that's where he draws his power. And they're like, we're gonna attack his realm and try to weaken him.
Right.
And then T'Challa realizes that every single thing he's seen and experienced up to this point has been an illusion influenced by Nightmare. Because Nightmare, see, basically what Nightmare did was he was in his own realm and he detected these panther gods, or this panther god and these like panther spirits. And he's like, I'm going to dip over here and feed on them. But then he got stuck and he couldn't get back. He couldn't find his way home. So he's been trying to trick them into going to his realm so he can follow them there and get home. And once T'Challa realizes this, he just starts ripping pages out of the Book of the Dead. And he's like, I'll never go to your realm. I'll destroy the book. And he's like, I refuse to go to your realm unless you release all of these souls. And so Nightmare agrees. And T'Challa wakes up in the land of the living. He's back. Everything's fine. But while he was in the land of the dead, Ross, on his little kick about trying to be the leader, he requests some kind of like mysterious classified information from Wakandan intelligence, and they're like super reluctant about it. And he's like, "Hey, I'm the king. Like, you gotta hand it over."
Right.
And, so they give it to him, and then he goes to like their prison and releases White Wolf from prison.
Oh. To what end?
I don't know. I'm guessing he's just trying to. He was trying to bolster up defenses while T'Challa was gone. He didn't want Wakanda to be attacked or something, so he figured that White Wolf would be able to help defend it if something happened.
Right.
So
I mean, he is knowledgeable.
Right. So Dr. Voodoo.
Better the devil you know than the devil you don't, right?
Right. And he is very loyal. He's loyalist to Wakanda, and he has his secret police. But so Dr. Voodoo's in the hospital because he's survived having his throat slit, and he like has a pen and pad, and he writes down the name of like who attacked you. So he writes down the name of the attacker, and it just says Malice.
Malice.
Yes. So there's a new player in the game.
Malice.
So Killmonger dons the Panther suit. He's like, I'm Black Panther now. And he even goes to New York, goes to the Avengers mansion, and like starts waving his Avengers membership card around. He's like, "Hey, I'm Black Panther." Like, what's up?
Yeah, right. Okay.
What are we gonna do? And he's like, "I demand audience with the Avengers." And then remember Achibi?
Yeah.
Well, he shows back up and like knocks on this door, and it's Deadpool's house. And he says that he has a job for Deadpool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll kind of back up.
No, hold on. All right. To Chibi. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Achibi. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. It's Achebe.
Remind me one more time who it is.
He's the guy who killed everyone his wife ever met and then led the coup.
Yeah, okay. All right. Now I remember Achibi. Let me write that down.
He took over Wakanda.
He's the one that staged the coup.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
he knows that he just happens to know Deadpool.
I'm sure he just knows him by reputation.
Okay. All right.
They didn't know each other before this. Like he shows up, he's like, "Hey, nice to meet you. I got a job for you." Achebe.
Achibi. Maybe it's Achibe.
I don't know. That's just I say Achibi, but I mean I could definitely be wrong. I'm not going off any information. I fucking know. So kind of backing up to see Deadpool's view of things. Like I said, last we left off him, he'd been ripped apart, and he was hanging out with Lady Death.
Yep, his lover.
Yep. So
they're having some really mean undead sex there.
Right.
Kiddos.
It's all implied, parents. It's okay. It's off panel.
Right.
So starting in this next little arc, I guess Deadpool like wakes up and he's in one of those like vat thing, like those stasis tubes, like this obligatory sci-fi tube full of liquid that somehow heals you. He wakes up and he's in one of those, but his body is like losing its molecular cohesion. So he's like jelly.
What?
Like he's like floating in the tube, so he's like humanoid. But then like at one point he goes to like break the glass, and his fist like just smushes up against the glass.
Yeah, that doesn't sound friendly. That sounds like somebody trying to perma-kill him.
And well, it's a result of him being eviscerated so extensively.
Okay.
So
basically regrowing himself from a molecular level, but he's still a goop.
Yeah. So like he wakes up.
Well, that's fun. I want to see the panel of that. Really.
Hold on. I can send it to you.
Awesome. I just want to see Deadpool as a soup. Deadpool soup.
No, I mean, like I said, he's still humanoid. He's still human.
Right.
Like, he's still bipedal.
That's the only rendition of petal that we pronounce like that.
Right.
There's a flower petal. I English goodly.
English goodly.
Oh dear. No.
I sent you a screenshot of a panel of him in the tube.
My telefono. Oh. I feel like an old man today. Oh. Okay. Interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. Is my dying interfering with your reading?
It's Deadpool.
What's he gonna say next?
Shut up. So like he wakes up in the tube and he looks over and he sees another tube, and Lady Death is in that tube.
What?
And
Lady
he's like,
Death is the... How? I didn't know she could manifest herself.
Right. And that's pretty much what
Sorry,
he's thinking.
I'm a little shocked that she's an actual...
Right.
Oh, okay.
Like apparently she has tangibility. A lot of like the big like cosmic forces, what they can and can't do is very vague.
Right.
And there's a lot of them, man. You don't even know.
Right.
But that's
It's
for
only been
for,
80 years.
that's for another day. And there's that doctor that's like this mysterious doctor, and he kind of seems to be taking care of him. So the doctor gives Deadpool this suit that he can wear, and he's like, wear this for an hour a day, and your body will be solidified enough to make it through the rest of your day. And you'll just have to do that for a while. So Deadpool puts it on, starts testing it out. He's getting his cohesion back. And so immediately he just grabs the doctor and just slams him into the wall. Fucks him up, and then he breaks Lady Death out and escapes. But then when he gets outside, he realizes that he's on the moon of another planet.
What? Wait, he didn't kill the doctor, did he?
No, he just like smashed him and rolled.
I was about to say, that's your only way out of here, dude.
You're right. So the doctor approaches, pulls the whole Scooby-Doo thing, and he's like, I'm actually Loki.
Oh.
So Loki is the one who did it. And that kind of was like, oh, okay, that's somebody who would maybe have the power to wrangle Death in.
Right.
But then he tells Deadpool that he is his father.
Say that again, you're breaking up.
Loki tells Deadpool that he is his father.
Huh? Is it true? Luke. What twist?
No, it's not true.
Oh, okay.
I'll go
Okay.
ahead. I'll go
Cool.
ahead and throw that out there. Loki is not Deadpool's father. Morcat commented, "No, it's not true. It's impossible." But no, but he does. He's like trying to manipulate him or whatever. So he sends Deadpool on.
Right.
All right. Okay. Just a heads
Right,
up.
right.
Over like the next 3 or 4 sentences, there's gonna be like 1,000 like what moments, but then it all gets brought together in like 5 minutes. So just hold out.
Okay. Okay. All right.
All right.
What?
So Loki's his Deadpool on a mission, and he wants him to separate Thor from the hammer. Because
Yeah.
as we were saying in the last week, in the Marvel comics, there are lots of periods of time to where it's like actually a mortal human who picks up the hammer and becomes Thor.
And you're breaking up again.
I said a lot of times in large periods of time in the comics, it's actually like a mortal human who picks up the hammer and becomes Thor.
Right, okay, gotcha.
So he's like, and if he's separated from the hammer for more than like a minute, he reverts back to his human form.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
Loki's
important.
so Loki's like, separate Thor from the hammer, and he sends him to Earth.
Now, when these people become Thor, they don't like inherit Thor's personality and soul
Yeah.
or anything, do they?
Yeah, like they're Thor. They're Thor. Like when, like it's like, hey Dave, can you pick this up? I need to talk to Thor. Like, so he goes to Earth, and Thor is like saving all these people from a burning building, just being badass Thor.
Right.
And then the building explodes, and it causes him to drop the hammer, and the hammer is like buried in the rubble. Deadpool finds it, picks it up, and gains the powers of Thor.
What? Wait. He's worthy? What?
Like I said, hold on.
Holy shit.
So then Deadpool goes to the Avengers mansion, the same way that Killmonger did, and he's like, hey, I'm Thor. Let's go on a mission.
I mean, I'm half expecting there to be the Animaniacs in a trench coat here. Like, what?
That's
What's
very
next?
that's a good analogy, actually.
Yeah.
So he's like, I want to go join you guys on missions. And then the guy who is Thor shows up, and he's like, give me my hammer back. And he goes to take the hammer, but he can't lift it.
Huh? He was just wielding
And
it.
he's like, what the hell's going on? Like, there's got to be some mistake. He's trying to pick up, he can't. So then Loki swoops in, kidnaps him, and then all of them go back to the lab on the moon, on the other planet. And then Loki goes on like this big
Wait, okay, hold on.
monologue.
I'm sorry, man. You broke up again there.
Damn it.
Yeah, dude. You got to get that Ethernet cable for real. That's a necessity now.
Right. I said Loki kidnaps Thor, and then they all go back to the lab that's on the moon on the other planet.
Which Thor?
Like the guy, the mortal guy who lost his Thor powers.
Okay. So the Fleb. Gotcha.
Yeah. So then he goes on this big monologue. He's like, I'm going to kill Thor. And he goes on and on about how superior he is to Thor and how inevitable his defeat is. And Deadpool then like confronts Loki, and he's like, hey, like, you'd rather hurt Thor than actually embrace the fact, like, you're sitting there saying that, like, I'm your son, and like you're on this weird vengeance with Thor. He's like, I don't even think you're my father at all. So then Deadpool attacks Loki with the hammer, and then he throws it to Thor, but he still can't lift it.
So just ding.
So Deadpool pretty much just picks it up and flies everybody back to Earth. But Loki puts a curse on Deadpool. And the curse, he says, let thy life fall into ruin until thou dost seek thy father's forgiveness.
What? Okay. Who's Deadpool's father, though?
Right.
Or was he talking about Loki's forgiveness?
No, he said
His own forgiveness.
He said thy father's. I mean, curses are pretty literal. So Deadpool and Thor go back to Earth, and when they get to Earth, they go back to the rubble, and Thor finds his hammer there. It was there the whole time, and that like the other hammer and Deadpool having the powers of Thor and all that were all like manifestations of Loki's like illusion powers.
Damn.
So that's why he couldn't pick that one up, and why Deadpool could and had Thor powers. So,
Interesting.
so he gets his hammer and takes off. Deadpool goes back home, and he's wondering about the curse. He's like, "What's up with that curse?" And he takes his mask off and looks in the mirror, and he's got a different face. And his new face is not.
What happened to his face?
Uh,
All I heard was takes his mask off, big pause, and then face.
he takes his mask off and he realizes he's got like a different face. You know, because Deadpool's got the nasty face. Well, now he has Tom Cruise's face.
What? No, the Tom Cruise.
Yes, Tom Cruise.
Get the fuck out of here.
Loki cursed Deadpool with Tom Cruise's face.
Oh my god, that just sounds like a nightmare of comedy relief there.
Yeah, dude.
Like
For like the next bit, like everything he does, like from here on out, like for a while, like he has Tom Cruise's face, and everywhere he goes, someone's like, "Aren't you Tom Cruise?" And like at one point, he's like in space, and there's like all these crazy looking like alien monsters, and he's like fighting them, and one of them says, "Hey, aren't you Tom Cruise?"
Yeah, tune in. You've been watching Mission Impossible, have you?
Right. So
Tell me how it ends.
at first, Deadpool thinks that his like image inducer is just stuck on, and so he can't. So he tries to shut it off, but then when he can't shut it off,
Yeah, I forgot Deadpool had one of those.
yeah, but like he can't shut it off, so he just breaks it. But he still has the face, and then he realizes, oh, this is the curse. So he's like, I'm just gonna have to.
Tom Cruise.
He's like, I'm just gonna have to
his father.
screw. Right. He's like, I'm just gonna have to screw this face up. Because as much as like he hated his face, now he realizes, hell, that was my ugly mug. You know, at least I knew who I was.
Right.
So he tries to. He's like, I'm just gonna screw this face up. So he just like smashes his face into the mirror a bunch of times. But it just heals. He jumps off a skyscraper face first and lands on the ground.
He does what? Oh my god,
Yeah.
man, that is the most brutal thing I've ever heard of from a comic. Just nosedive, terminal velocity, straight into the pavement.
Then he lays down on a train track and lets a train run over his face.
Oh my god. Dude, please tell me you have the panels of this one.
Yeah, I can get him for sure.
What, dude?
Then he
Really?
dunks his head in fry grease at a restaurant.
Oh, dude! Oh, please take it easy. Whoa! I knew he was insane. Deep. Okay, all right.
Then he goes to the zoo and he like picks a fight with a tiger and lets the tiger just claw his face.
Dude, these are literally the most like brutal things that you could possibly do to a human face. Period. Like they did hours of research. What is the most brutal disfiguration that could possibly happen to a human? Deep frying your head.
Right. Then he goes to this lab where they house uranium and actually puts his head like in this box that houses like uranium rods.
Oh my god.
Like,
he truly is invincible.
and then finally he picks a fight with an entire Middle Eastern army and he gets cut and in this fight he gets cut in the face by swords 42,387 times.
Well, he does what now?
He
broke up again.
He gets cut in the face by swords 42,387 times.
God.
And he still looks like Tom Cruise.
Dude.
But
It's got to be Loki's illusion power.
Right. But in the process of doing all this, he destroys his suit.
Right? It only took that much to destroy a suit, huh?
Right.
It only took three.
Something else about like the Marvel universe too is that like there's actually like this like network of like a society behind the society of people that are connected to like heroes and villains.
Yeah.
And so like there's actually like marketable services and stuff that people offer in the Marvel universe. Like there's people that can like make you new suits and shit. There's people that can like if you're a villain, like go to them and like they're like realtors that'll find you like lairs and hideouts. Taskmaster runs like the school of henchmen, and people come there and like buy henchmen off of him.
Slave trading.
Well, I mean they're
Lovely.
not slaves, but
Right.
they
They're for
get
hire.
yeah. Me and Morkai was actually talking about that the other day, and he was saying he was like, I love how they had that in the Marvel universe. How like because in DC there's just a billion thugs that just want to work for the Penguin or the Joker,
Right, right.
but in Marvel
Sounds like fun.
it's like a society of people.
No, it sounds like damn fine capitalism to me.
Right. So Deadpool goes to the
Or profiteering, if you will. I don't know.
but Deadpool goes to a guy that makes suits, and it was actually the guy that he got his original suit from.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, you sold me this suit a decade ago, and I ripped it. I want a refund and a new one." Like, and but there's like nothing that he has to go off on this suit. Like it's completely ripped up and destroyed. Like he just has a picture of it, and he's like, "I need you to fix this." The guy's like, "There's no material. Like there's no suit." And so he's like, "Look, I have to make you another one from scratch, but it's going to take like 2 weeks." And he's like, "Well, what am I going to wear until then?" And he's like, "Well, until then, you'll just have all I have on hand right now is scraps." Because this guy actually like goes out, and when there's supervillains and superheroes fighting, and like their costumes get ripped, he like picks up the scraps.
Damn. Well, I mean, it's probably made of valuable shit. It's like
Right.
it's like they're fighting in suits made of gold. I'd go pick up the scraps too.
Right. And so Deadpool rummages through the scraps, and he ends up with as a suit is he ends up with Wolverine's pants, Spider-Man's shirt,
This is gonna be a. Oh no! This is gonna be.
He's got Wolverine's pants, Spider-Man's shirt, Gambit's trench coat, and a pig mask.
Dude, really? Is there any bounds to how ridiculous they'll make Deadpool? I mean,
I don't know,
I swear.
More cat said, "Holy crap, that suit."
Yeah, no kidding.
He said, "There's a
I'm having a
backstory
hard
to
time.
every villain having vast armies of goons." I love it.
At least they took the time to explain it.
Right. So then Deadpool goes home, but he doesn't have his mask because he doesn't have his suit, and his face doesn't look like his face, so his security system doesn't recognize him because he's Tom Cruise, and his house, and so his house blows up.
Oh, did what?
So he goes to this like supervillain real estate guy. He's like, "Hey, I heard you could get me a new place," and he ends up splitting the rent at one of Doc Ock's old high-rise layers, like apartments, with two supervillains.
Oh, this turned real casual. Super villains, the college
Right.
years.
And the villains that he's living with are Constrictor and Titania. And so Constrictor, I like Constrictor a lot. I wouldn't say he's one of my favorite villains, but he's definitely underrated. Like the dude's hilarious. I love his dialogue. But basically, he's just this big, super strong guy, and he has these like coils that it's like tech. He like made them out of vibranium that he somehow illegally got access to. They're kind of like Doc Ock's tentacles, but they're like stored in his suit somehow, and they're like retractable, and so he like throws them out and like wraps people up with them and like squeezes them with it, and then he can also like shoot electric currents down it.
Ow.
So he's a Constrictor, car thief extraordinaire. Like, and then
Really? That's what he chose to do with those?
no, I mean he just takes jobs, whatever the job is.
Okay.
But he's a thief. Yeah, he's like a bank robber. He takes theft, like larceny jobs. And Titania also does that, and she is just big, strong woman. That's pretty much her whole shtick. But she is married to the Absorbing Man.
The incredible, edible, absorbing man.
I like Absorbing Man. He's pretty cool.
That sounds like a neat ability.
Yeah, basically he touches something and he can like absorb what it's made of. So like if he touches a wooden wall, he can make his body wooden.
No, what?
Yeah.
So it's like the Midas touch, but like the reverse of that. Everything you touch becomes you.
Right.
That's cool as shit. No, seriously, can I have that power?
Right. Imagine like Thor throwing his hammer at you. Grab it. Now I'm made out of Uru, the mystical metal of Asgard.
Right. Holy crap.
I think I could take on Captain America now.
Dude, are there any limits to this? What if he were to like touch like, molten plasma or something and become a superheated liquid plasma? Pretty much being able to heat and cook everything it touches.
I think it's limited to solids.
Oh, okay.
I've never known it to become lava or anything. Morkak said his entire cellular structure, and he can change his body into multiple materials at once. So yeah, he can have like a branch in one hand and a rock in the other, and have like branch and rock fists. Like he has complete control over it. But apparently, like they're married, so apparently, I guess they've got some kind of spat or whatever going on because she's living with Deadpool and Constrictor now.
Who is?
Titania, Absorbing Man's wife.
Oh, okay.
They're,
and she's made out of titanium or what?
No, she big strong woman. That's her whole shtick.
Okay.
You could name her Big Strong Woman and nothing would change.
Okay.
It's so common of a thing. Actually, there's another character in the Marvel Universe called Thundra, and her whole thing is the same, big, strong woman. And people were like, all throughout this comic, are like, hey, it's Thundra. And she's like, I'm Titania.
Oh.
But like, so when Deadpool shows up, he doesn't know that they're renting the place too, and he thinks that they're there to kill him. So he pulls a SIBO and just starts slashing. Pulls a Venicio Dark Souls blunder, just starts slashing at him, and they get in this huge fight, and they trash the place.
Right. Damn, dude.
But
dude, I mean, this reminds me of like one of those rainy day cartoons where somebody just walks out and literally everything starts attacking them, and it's just the worst look ever.
Right. Can it get any worse? And it starts raining on them.
The floor creaks. Like, come on, man. Damn. Give the guy a break.
Right.
These writers are putting old Deadpool through the ringer here.
Yeah, for sure. But time goes on, and they fall into their life as like supervillain roommates. It's like a couple weeks down the road. They all go to the suit place, the suit guy, to get Deadpool's new suit. And it's a new suit, actually. And it's pretty cool. It's got a little more black in it than the other one did. I like it. But then they get back home, and they realize that someone's broken into the apartment and have left a DVD message. And they put the DVD in, and it's the Taskmaster. And he says that he has a job for Titania, and he wants her to meet him at his henchman school in Nevada. And Deadpool's like, oh, here we go. She's like, what? He goes, I'm not stupid. I know what this is. You're setting me up. She's like, how am I setting you up? This has nothing to do with you. He says he has a job for me. And he goes, no, you guys have set this up. He says he has a job for you. You take it. You leave. You mysteriously disappear. And then you call us. And then we have to come save you. And that's when I find out it's a setup. And you're all here to kill me. He's like, I'll tell you what. I'll make you a deal. Let's just agree that it's a setup. you cut me in on the money, uh, give me like a third of it, and then I'll just go instead of you. She's like, all right, works for me. Still get 70% of my money and don't have to do anything.
Right, right.
So he goes ahead and goes to Nevada in her place. And then when he gets there, Taskmaster's like, what the fuck are you doing here? I needed Titania. So he calls Titania up. He's like, hey, the reason I needed you is because, he says, you used to work for Baron Zemo, who is a Captain America villain. We talked about him some. He's the villain in the Civil War movie.
Right, okay.
And basically he was running this group, and they had like this big orbital platform with like a death ray on it. And Taskmaster's like, that it's been up there so long and no one's messed with it, its orbit is decaying and it's going to burn up in the atmosphere, so I want to go up there and raid it and get that death ray, but I need your access codes. So she's like, oh, okay. So she gives the codes to Deadpool. And then Taskmaster pretty much assembles like a 4-man team. It's Deadpool and then like his 3 top students. And they all have different abilities. Like one of them can like change the mass of things that will like touch you and make you super small or super fat or super muscular. Make your head real big.
Dude, the possibilities though.
Right. One of them.
Wait. You mean change the density or change the mass?
The mass.
Well, if you change the mass, then it doesn't necessarily make it larger. It just makes it heavier.
That would be the density. Mass is size.
No, I mean, I know the difference between mass and density, but they're not mutually. Anyways, that's still a cool ability.
Right. Another one, he can like wipe your mind, make you forget stuff.
Cool.
And then the other one, basically with him, it's kind of like implied because they're just like, he can generate explosions, and then Deadpool's like, how and where from? And then they like whisper in his ear, but it's implied that this guy like shits explosions.
What a shitty ability.
Right. Yeah, super explosive shits.
Explosive diarrhea. But for real. Dude, how many toilets does this man went through?
Right. A vibranium toilet.
Yeah, not only that, you know how pissed I would be if I was a person that got killed by a dude that shits explosions?
Right.
Like, really?
Hey, man, can I use your bathroom? So back at the house, Constrictor and Titania are showing, like, discussing the fact that they actually do want to kill Deadpool, and that this is, in fact, a setup, and that he was right the whole time.
He was what this whole time?
He was right. It is a setup.
But not by Taskmaster.
Well, yeah, kind of. It's like it's Taskmaster and Titania and Constrictor. They're in on it. And so Deadpool confronts Taskmaster about the fact that like this whole thing's a trap. He's like, "This is a trap." He goes, "I know that you want that this whole thing is just to get me killed, and I'm assuming that we get up to space, we get the death ray thing, and that your 3 loogies over here try to kill me. But and he's like, I'm assuming that that's like their final exam, so they graduate with honors of this place or whatever. And he's like, but I know you, and you know that they can't kill me. So for some reason, you want them dead. So I'll tell you what I'll do." He's like, "I'll make you a deal."
This is funny, dude.
He's like,
he's just getting ahead of it.
Yeah, he's like, screw Titania out of her pay completely. Give me 30%, you keep the rest, I'll knock these guys off while we're up there. Bring your death ray back for you. We'll call it a day. The Taskmaster's like, you got yourself a deal, dude. Like,
Right.
so while they're in space, Deadpool confronts the students. He's like, look, I know this is a setup. I know Taskmaster sent you up here to kill me,
Wait,
whatever.
are you serious?
Yeah,
Like, how many times is he gonna twist this?
Right. So he's like, I'll make you guys a deal.
Welcome to Let's Make a Deal, Deadpool version.
He's like, we get the death ray thing, we go back, we jump Taskmaster, the four of us kill him, take all of his money, split it between the four of us. And they refuse. They're like, we would never betray our master, blah, 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 blah. And so they get in this big fight, and Deadpool, like, presumably kills them. And then he gets in an escape pod. He's like, I'm fucking out of here. But then, like, they show up and, like, we're not dead. And they, like, hijack his escape pod. And the one grabs him and, like, alters his mass and makes him, like, super obese. Like, to where he can barely fit in the pod. And then the other one, like, wipes his mind, makes him all confused and, like, dumb and shit. And then the other one, like, shits an explosion or something. And then, like, the whole place explodes. And Deadpool's escape pod is just flying through space.
Oh, lovely.
So they're like, close enough. We got him. We killed him.
Right, I mean, you can't kill Deadpool, but you can get rid of him. That's a way.
Right. So as his pod is, like, flying through space, just by chance, it hits a cloaked spaceship. And they're like, what the hell? And they transport him on board. And the transport, like, filters out all those, like, effects. So he's back to normal size and his mind's back to normal. It fixes everything except for Loki's curse. And the ship is inhabited by this group of aliens, and they're called the Last Men. And the Last Men, each of them is the last of their race.
Huh.
Many of them by their own hand. And the one in charge, he's called, like, the Feared One. And him and Deadpool get in this fight, and Deadpool whoops his ass. And the guy's like, well, you're the Feared One now. And he's like, what? And he was like, well, I'll order that we go to Earth. Take me home. And they're like, well, we're in the middle of a mission.
Dude, this guy is just getting involuntarily just fucking pulled through a story. It's like, I don't care if you're willing or not. You're coming through this story.
Yeah. And he's like, well, what's the mission? And they're like, well, our real leader is in prison, and we got to go break him out. And he's like, and then we'll go to Earth. So it's like, all right. So, like, he infiltrates the prison, kills a bunch of people, beats the shit out of a bunch of people. It's a pretty cool issue. He breaks the dude out. And, like, there's all types of, like, fighting and gunfights and explosions. And, like, the whole place explodes. It's like an asteroid prison. And the whole place ends up exploding. And the Last Men's ship and all of them in it gets caught in the explosion. So they're all dead.
Dude! They're the last of their race, right?
Yeah, every one of them.
You just extincted how many?
Like, at least like 3 or 4 dozen. Like,
oh my god, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Damn.
So Deadpool is just, like, stuck in space, standing on, like, this tiny asteroid, like, well, fuck. Now what do I do? And then there's this ship pulls up, like, investigating, like, all the chaos. And it's this team called the Starjammers. And they're kind of X-Men related. There's not a whole lot about them, really. They're just, like, this comic book team. And they fly around space doing crazy adventures. But the leader of the Starjammers is Cyclops' dad.
Okay.
None of that's really relevant to this, but that's who it is. They pull up and they're like, hey, you need a ride? And he's like, yes, I do. I desperately need a ride. And they're like, well, we're in the middle of a mission. So,
oh, my dude!
But if you don't mind helping out, we could drop you off after. And Deadpool's like, nope, I'm good. Bye.
Just leave me here.
They're like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't want to do any more missions. I just want to go
This
home.
sounds like a really bad Daedric quest line on Skyrim,
Yeah,
man.
right. He's like, just leave me alone. I'll catch the next one. Thanks, but no thanks. And so they're like, all right, suit yourself. And so they leave, but they call a nearby like freighter to come and pick him up and take him to Earth. So back on Earth, Constrictor and Titania are on a job stealing cars. Oh, hey, Morcat just commented. He said Deadpool just committed mass genocide. LOL.
Yeah. Yep.
For real, dude. Like, that's pretty nuts. But they made him do it. He just wanted to go home. It was their idea. But, it's like I said, Constrictor and Titania are on his job stealing cars when they run into Absorbing Man, who's also on the same job trying to steal the same cars. And, Constrictor's like, look, man, I don't know what you guys have got going on, but let's be professionals here. And Absorbing Man's like, what are you even talking about? He's like, Titania's at home in bed. Constrictor's like, dude, she's right over there. And then he looks and she's gone. And it's like, so she like dipped out when she found out that her husband was there.
Right.
And so Constrictor ends up getting his ass beat by Absorbing Man. And then he goes back to the house and he's like, what the hell? Like, you just left me high and dry? Like, you're just gonna, like, your old man shows up and you just let him beat the shit out of me and you just leave and come back to the house? And she's like, she just refuses to talk about it. She's like, I don't want to talk about it. It's none of your business. We need to just focus on killing Deadpool. So then Deadpool shows back up, and they all three are just eating dinner together. And that's when there's a knock at the door.
Just casually sitting around people trying to kill him.
That's like their whole thing. That's like their whole dynamic. Like, every time they eat, they have like poison test kits in the house. It's like when they eat, they test their food for poison to see if the other two roommates are trying to kill them. Like,
yeah, out there we kill each other. In here we're roommates.
right. But so they're eating dinner, and there's a knock at the door, and Achibi shows up. He says he's got a job for him.
Fuck, what does he want? Oh, this is what was leading up to what you... Is this the job that he asked for back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is the same. Like, both of those kind of storylines converge on that point.
Okay.
And so now it's kind of like the actual crossover.
Right.
So T'Challa is out of his coma. But he can barely move, so he's like riding around in this hover chair like Professor X. And he just spends all his time in like the techno jungle, and he's like super depressed and doesn't want anyone in, doesn't talk to anyone. And he's like doing surveillance stuff over in Wakanda and like doing espionage stuff, and he's trying to figure out how to stop Killmonger, and also how to find out who Malice is and find that person. Iron Man is like blowing his phone up, repeatedly calling him like, "Hey, Killmonger's here at the mansion. He wants to be an Avenger. Like, call me back."
Right. Please send instructions.
So T'Challa just ignores all the calls. But back at Deadpool's, Achibi tells Deadpool, Titania, and Constrictor about the job. Tells them that Killmonger's pet leopard, he tells them that it's his pet leopard, and that Killmonger has stolen it from him. And the job is he wants them to get it back.
Huh.
And what's funny about this is like while he's doing this, he's just like chugging chocolate milk out of like a gallon carton. And they're like, give us 3 reasons why we should, or like they're like, give us a reason why we should even take this job. And he's like, I'll give you 3. Number 1, and he like throws the chocolate milk at him and it busts all over him. And he's like, I poisoned the milk.
Oh.
Number 2. I stole all the money that you guys have been hustling from each other on this Taskmaster job. And number three, I know that Titania has a big secret that you're all trying to figure out what it is, and I know it, and I'll tell it if everyone comes along.
Huh.
So they all accept the job. The Avengers unanimously agreed that Killmonger will not be an Avenger. That they recruited
Right.
T'Challa as an Avenger, not the office of Black Panther. But they decide, we'll just leave him alone. We don't need to arrest him. Like, he's out in the yard, like, playing Frisbee with the leopard. And they're like, we just leave him there? And they're like, yeah, sure, why not? At least we know where he is. So, they're like, the only, we don't have any crimes, we don't have any evidence on crimes with him. The only thing we can prove is that he's attacked people in ritual combat. So, we'll leave him alone. So then Deadpool shows up at the mansion, posing as animal control. And he's saying, I've got a few calls about a leopard over here. And they're like, well, it belongs to this guy. He's a diplomat. And they're like, well, even though he's a diplomat, I still need to check the leopard and make sure it doesn't have any diseases that can be transmitted to the population over here. So he's like messing with the leopard. He slips a teleporter on it, and they teleport the leopard away. But while that happened, Triathlon was petting the leopard, so he gets teleported away.
Hell.
He gets teleported away with him. And
that's one of the active Avengers, yes.
Yes. So the Avengers and Killmonger, they just immediately surround and confront Deadpool. Like, what the hell? And so Constrictor and Titania are like down the street. They steal an ice cream truck and crash it through the gate. So like as a distraction to help Deadpool escape.
Twisted Metal.
The whole time, like, Constrictor's trying to figure out what Titania's secret is. He's like, you're a man, aren't you? She's like, what? No. And he's like, that's it. That's the secret. It all makes sense. It all falls into place. You're a dude. You are a man. I'm Colin Wang. But he's just always on that kick. Like, that's his big suspicion.
Right.
So Achibi is like in like an undisclosed location, but he like video calls Iron Man, but he's like using some kind of tech, like he's disguising himself as T'Challa.
Wait, who is?
Achibi.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, hey man, I've been trying to get a hold of you, Killmonger's here. He wants to be an Avenger, like, all this stuff is going on. And Achibi posing as T'Challa is like, oh, Killmonger would make a great Avenger.
Oh no!
Like, just let him be an Avenger. And Tony's like, well, about these, I bought these shares of Wakanda Design Group. I just wanted you to know that I only did that as like a placeholder, so no one would get them. Like, I'll just pay me for them, and I'll give them back to you. And he's like, you keep them. It's like, we don't need that,
dude.
And which, I mean, it's Tony Stark. He's not an idiot.
Right.
So, like, outside, Deadpool, Titania, Constrictor are just in this huge brawl with all the Avengers, except for Iron Man and Killmonger. And they end up holding him off enough for him to escape. But all the Avengers run after him, except for Iron Man. Because Iron Man goes separately to track down where Triathlon and the Leopard were teleported to.
Right.
And he finds out that they were teleported to Wakanda.
Okay, that's not too bad.
So Iron Man sends out a priority alert to T'Challa, letting him know what's going on. And at the same time, T'Challa receives a teleportation proximity alert because apparently his techno jungle can do that. Hey, somebody just teleported into Wakanda.
Right.
And he ignores them both. He's like, eh. So Deadpool and his crew.
Damn, he's really down, ain't he?
Yeah, he is. But Deadpool and his crew are captured by the Avengers eventually, and then they're all arrested. And the Avengers and Killmonger take a Quinjet and they go to Wakanda. And when they get there, they're like intercepted by the Wakandan Air Force, and they're like threatening to shoot them down. Like, this is unauthorized airspace. And Killmonger gets on the comms and he's like, I am the chieftain of the Panther clan. I will have you executed if you kill me. Like,
If you kill me, no. Oh my god.
and
If you die, I'm gonna kill you.
but
You
it works.
hear me?
Like
You hear
they back off. Like, if I die, I will kill you where you stand.
me?
But they back off. They're like, oh shit. Triathlon wakes up and finds that he's in like this place, and the Chibi's there, and the leopard's there, and the Chibi's just like, yeah, you can leave. He's like, what? He's like, what? Yeah, I didn't mean to teleport you here. It was a mix-up. It's Deadpool's fault. Don't worry about it. You're free to go. Actually, I'm pretty sure the Avengers are actually right over there. They just landed. If you need a ride, so go on. So then Achibi teleports Deadpool from his prison cell to Wakanda. And the Avengers meet with Ross, who is still acting King of Wakanda at this point. They all go to the techno jungle with Killmonger to try and find Triathlon, the Leopard, and T'Challa. Just see if they can figure something out. And while they're in there, they run into Deadpool. And so Deadpool and Killmonger start fighting because he's pissed because he stole his leopard best friend.
Right.
And then they kind of realize at this point, like, okay, this is what this is all about. Achibi set this up because he wants Killmonger dead. So he goaded us into fighting each other, hoping that the Deadpool would kill Killmonger.
Right.
Because he wants T'Challa back up and running, because Killmonger's the one that like broke his spirit, because he wants T'Challa back, so he has somebody to fucking torment and poke at.
Right.
So after everything,
Wasn't this Chibi guy either dead or in prison yet?
well, they were gonna get him when they took Wakanda back from him, but remember they went in and he had all them bombs,
Yeah.
and so he escaped. While
So he's a fugitive from the law still.
yes. So after everything settles, the Avengers find Triathlon, and then they decide to go home. And Ross is like, take me with you, please. I want to go home. He's like, this was supposed to be a 4-day assignment, and I've been in Wakanda a year. I want to go home.
Hell.
And they're like, yeah, about that. We actually can't take you home, and we have these documents for you from the U.S. government. Your citizenship has been revoked because you took on the position of a monarchy of another country.
What, dude? Oh man, that's shitty.
Yeah. So he can't go home. So back down in the techno jungle, T'Challa's still down there alone. Malice infiltrates that security, which is saying something.
Right.
And comes face to face with T'Challa. So they're finally meeting each other. Also, real quick, I'm just gonna wrap up Deadpool's involvement because that's pretty much the extent of the crossover. But it's kind of wrapping up a couple of those loose ends. Titania and Constrictor, they're still in prison, and Titania like shapeshifts, and she's like a man prison guard, and they're like, what? And Constrictor's like, ha, I knew it, she's a man. And then,
The running side joke.
yeah, and then she's like, help, that chick escaped and locked me in here. And then the guards come in and they let the dude out, and then she shapeshifts again. And then you find out that it actually wasn't Titania. It was someone posing as Titania. It's a shapeshifter.
Really?
Yeah, it was a shapeshifter in the Marvel Universe known as Copycat. Which is why
Why
she
would he
ducked
be
out.
posing as somebody is in? Huh?
That's why she dipped out when Absorbing Man was on that job. Because the real Titania was at home.
Oh. But why would she pose as why as Titania of all people?
I guess because it was a low chance of running into the real one. But Hush. Copycat is you know the Deadpool movies, the girlfriend that he has, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Well, the major difference between the movies and the comics is in the movies, after he becomes Deadpool, they stay together, and in the comics they don't. They don't ever get back together after he becomes Deadpool, and she goes off on like her own journeys, and she ends up doing some, I don't know, like somebody put something in her cream of wheat. I don't know what happened, but she gets shape-shifting abilities, and she becomes Copycat. So her,
Cool.
so her and Deadpool have that history. So, and then she reveals that she was actually hired by Taskmaster to kill Deadpool, and she took the job. So she escapes from prison, and she goes to get the money that Deadpool got from Achibi, which was supposed to be her money all along. And she meets Deadpool at the house, and he's like, "I knew you were a copycat this whole time." She's like, "There's no way. Like, you would have said something. You would have called me on it." And he was like, "Well, I didn't call you on it because I thought maybe, this was your way of getting close to me." She was like, "No, I don't."
blame.
And then she's like, "Nope. Unfortunately for you, I only did it for the money." And he's like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yep, it was only the money." So he's like, "Well, since the only thing you want's the money, I'll just go ahead and give it to you." And he carves like the bank access code into her face with a knife.
Dude, what?
And he's like, "There's your money."
Oh, that's brutal.
You're right, but
Just
she
wanna
is
carve a credit card out of your face.
she is a shapeshifter. I mean,
Right.
it's not. I mean, it is brutal, but it's not. I mean, if you had done that to someone else, it'd been a lot worse.
Oh, you mean she can just erase the damage?
Yeah. So Taskmaster's like pissed off because none of his plans are working. So he's like, "I'm just gonna blow his house up. Fuck him." So he blows his house up. So that's another house that he's got blown up. So Deadpool's like, "You know what, man? I'm just gonna go to the bar."
Right. Just live in a tent or something, dude.
He's like, "I'm homeless again. I'm broke again. And I still look like Tom Cruise. I'm just gonna go to the bar and drink." So when he goes to the bar, he gets into this argument with this old man over a bowl of peanuts.
And he blows the bar up. No.
No, but then he ends up just giving the peanuts to the guy, and he's like, "Look, I'm sorry, I'm being a dick." And then the old man forgives him. As he's walking away, he walks down the street and he sees his face in the window, and he's got his old face back.
What? The guy at the bar was his... Interesting.
So he like runs back, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And then the guy's gone. So we don't know who he was, but that was Deadpool's dad.
Huh. Some random old dude eating peanuts in a bar, huh?
Yep.
I don't know. That sounds like more than just a chance meeting. Sounds like something else is gonna happen.
Could have been. I mean, it is Marvel. Marvel could put a comic book out tomorrow and be like, "There was actually a goat god the entire time pulling all the strings."
Right, right. Well, that or Deadpool's father becomes an important character, and that was their first sneaky introduction.
Could be. So that's kind of the end of his involvement in all this. To kind of wrap up the whole Black Panther bit, Killmonger, as chieftain of the Panther clan, just starts ransacking villages looking for his leopard. He's like, "I know somebody's got it. Give me my leopard."
Wait, they still haven't found a leopard?
No, everything else got resolved except for that.
Right, right.
And he finds the leopard in this abandoned shack where Achibi had been hiding, and the leopard's dead.
Oh, dude.
Achibi killed the leopard when the plans didn't work. So he's...
You know what? You know what pisses people off more than seeing 1,000 people die in a movie? Seeing a single animal get killed. That'll just set them off into a rage.
Yeah, dude. "You son of a bitch! You are transphobic and homophobic and racist for killing that animal.
Nah, man, animals hit your heartstrings. You ever seen Homeward Bound? Shoot,
Oh yeah,
that would have been
They got
three.
those on Disney
Three.
Plus, by the way.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I gotta know what I'm watching to go to sleep to tonight.
Actually, there's an older movie than that I'm pretty sure those are based on
The
called
Great Journey.
The Incredible Journey. It's on there too.
Yeah. Yep. I wonder though. I've always been curious about that. I knew about that before Disney Plus.
Yeah, I did too. I just didn't know the relation. Uh, so Ross is trying to appeal the like revocation of his citizenship. He's like, because
Right.
his defense is like I was acting under government orders. The president,
Right.
the president of the United States sent me here. But the problem is that while he was in Wakanda, the presidency went from Bill Clinton to George Bush.
Ah.
And they're like, well, there's a new cabinet here, and we disagree. And so you're stuck.
Dude, nobody can catch a break here.
Right. So down in the techno jungle, T'Challa and Malice are fighting. And then Malice reveals her identity. It's a female. And it's actually Nakia, the Dora Milaje that disgraced her tribe by trying to kill Monica last week when we did this.
Oh, dude. Really?
Yes.
So she just turned into a badass.
Yeah. Well, man, she was already a badass, but now she's like got a purpose.
Sounds like one hell of an assassin if she's able to sneak in.
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
So once T'Challa realizes it's Nakia, he's like, "Oh fuck this!" So he just escapes through like this escape tube and goes back up to the palace and just locks the techno jungle down with her inside of it.
All right.
He's like, "I'll just keep her there for a
What
while."
was her agenda though? What was her goal here? Just to kill him? To kill.
She's on like this whole weird quest of like she wants to be with T'Challa, but she also like kind of hates him and she wants to kill everybody that he knows.
Oh, okay. So one of the classic love hate. I'm gonna kill you and then make love to your corpse. Kind
Right.
of craziness. Yeah. Okay.
So T'Challa goes to his office and he meets with the White Wolf because he's like, "So you've been released from prison?" Because at this point he is taking back his authority as king of Wakanda. He's no longer chieftain of the Panther clan, but he is still king of Wakanda, and he relieves Ross of his duty.
Okay.
So he's talking to the White Wolf, and the White Wolf is like, he petitions T'Challa, like, hire me, command me, my king, and I will serve you. Like, hire me and my secret police,
Right.
and we will serve Wakanda. And T'Challa's like,
Sounds like the man
no.
don't have a choice at
He's
this
like,
point.
no.
Still no?
I'm not going to do that. And he goes, well, then just command me back to my cell. I am loyal to Wakanda. You know I will obey. But he's like, no, that's okay. You can stay free, but I'm not hiring you. And while they're having this conversation, Killmonger storms in, and he's like, as chieftain of the Panther clan, I demand that you give me the location of Achibi. I'm going to kill him. He has killed my leopard.
Right.
And White Wolf informs him that while you may have defeated T'Challa in ritual combat, you're not technically chieftain until you finish the rites of ascension, which means you have to fight 6v1 combat and go on this super long hike and then eat the heart-shaped herb.
Right. Okay.
And T'Challa waives the necessity of the rite of ascension. He's like, it's not necessary. Eric Killmonger has more than proved his worth.
Really? Dude, he really gave up then, huh?
Yeah. He's like, he is grieving. He's grieving the loss of his closest companion. I waive the rights. And Killmonger's like, you think I'm too weak to take your rights? Like, if you did it, I can do it. And he's like, no, I just think that you're mourning and you can't see that White Wolf is obviously trying to set you up. And he's like, no, I'm going to do the rites of ascension. So The next day, T'Challa starts physical therapy, trying to get back in shape, get back on his feet, and Killmonger
Oh,
begins.
so he's that fucked up.
Yeah.
Dude,
And
so he put him in a coma, but he must have what happened to him? I just didn't realize he was that fucked up, man. Or that messed up is what I'm saying.
yeah, like he smashed him. Like he beat the shit out of like he wrecked him with his head, knocks him out, and then just like beats his body.
Okay, I got you. So he did some serious damage to him. He's out of commission.
Yeah, for sure.
He's not combat ready.
No, not at all. This guy's not shower ready. Like,
Ouch.
so Killmonger begins the first stage of the Rite of Ascension. He does the 6v1 combat, and he easily just whoops all their asses. He's like, I just fought T'Challa for 13 hours, y'all are nothing. And then at that point, he's like, you know what? I don't need to do the second stage. I don't have anything to prove. Just give me the herb. And so they give him the herb. But after consuming the herb, he falls to the ground, dead.
What? For real? Straight
Yes.
up killed him?
For real. Straight
No.
up killed him. Dead.
So
And,
that's why they don't give it out to everybody.
right. Also, maybe the second part of the Rites of Ascension, maybe pushing your body has something to do with this reaction to the heart-shaped herb. I don't know. But he's dead. No more Killmonger.
Dude. Did he just get resurrected?
Yeah.
Can't you stay alive, bro? This ain't a Call of Duty match, man. Stay the fuck alive.
If you Supervillain 101, if you get resurrected, don't immediately seek revenge on the guy that killed you.
Right. You might just get killed again.
So back in the palace, everybody's hanging out, trying to figure out, you know.
So
what
it
they're-
doesn't ever explain why that kills him. Really?
Not really, no. Not really. Or it might later, but
guess it just-
I'm not ready. I don't
I
know.
guess he just wasn't worthy. It's like Thor's hammer. He just wasn't
Right.
worthy of it.
But it killed him.
Maybe you have to have a pure heart or whatever.
Right. So back in the palace, everybody's kind of hanging out. Monica decides, I'm leaving Wakanda. I'm going home.
Which one's Monica?
That was T'Challa's American love interest.
Oh yeah.
That's
okay, yeah.
that's the woman that he actually wants to be with. So she's like, I'm going home. I don't want to be in Wakanda anymore.
What was she doing in Wakanda?
They were running from the Russian mob, and then they got in that hidden warship and flew it over to Wakanda, and then Nakia ejecto-cetoed her out of out of the ship.
Yep.
And so she was lost in the jungle. For information on that, go to last week's episode. Or read Christopher Priest's Black Panther.
Right.
So she decides she's leaving, and on her way out, she's attacked by Malice, who has somehow escaped the techno jungle.
Damn.
And she hates Monica because that's who T'Challa is in love
Right.
with.
Right. Yeah, obviously, natural. That's a natural.
Yeah. So she's
No
like,
strings needed. Rivalry.
natural enemies, like Scottish and Irish, or Scottish and English, or Scottish
Scottish
and
and
other
Irish, yeah?
Scottish. Damn
okay.
Scots. They ruined Scotland.
Damn, even Scots want to fight Scots, man.
So Malice starts just like throwing these knives at her, you know, trying to kill her. And she's like dodging them and running around, like trying not to get killed. And at that same time, in a nearby room, Ross and his girlfriend are still arguing about the fact that she was with T'Challa like 10 years ago, and that she never told him about it, and that she's his boss and sent him on an assignment to go hang out with the guy that she used to bang. And then she hears the fighting outside, and she's like, I'm gonna go see what's going on. And she walks out to investigate, and is hit with several of the knives and killed.
What? Seriously, Ross's girl?
Yeah, she's dead. She gets
Dude,
hit.
dude, Ross is like taking a real beating now. Before it was almost, it almost seemed comedic. Now it's
Yeah.
ouch.
And then hearing all this commotion, Queen Divine Justice comes in and she just starts blasting guns at Malice, trying to kill her, stop her from hurting people. And you remember her, right? The activist
Yeah.
girl, Nakia's replacement. Uh, I always feel like an idiot even reading that name. It's so dumb. Queen Divine Justice.
Isn't that the one that like just chilled with the Hulk for a little bit?
Yep, that's it. That's her. But so she fights Malice back to the point to where she can help Ross and Monica escape. And then seeing that her plan failed, Malice leaves, takes off. So at this point, because Killmonger's dead, T'Challa is once again given the role of chieftain of the Panther Clan by default, since Killmonger did not technically complete the rite of ascension.
Okay.
But he's humiliated that he's chieftain by default. So he like pretends, like puts on a show that Killmonger's alive. He's like, put him in stasis. And they're like, he's dead. And like, he's like, put him in stasis. You know, like he's trying to save face. He's like, I'm only chieftain temporarily until he comes back, you know, and then we'll have a real fight again. But he's dead. It's not happening. So Ross grabs his girlfriend's body, and he's like, I'm taking her to the resurrection altar. It worked for Killmonger. It'll work for her. And he's going to see if he can bring her back. And T'Challa forbids it. He's like, absolutely not. And he orders...
Yeah, you have to take about 6 people with you, man.
Right. And he orders Okoye, the other Dora Milaje chick, the bodyguard of his. He orders her to destroy the altar.
Oh. That's a pretty tall order. That altar's been there.
Right. He's pretty much just like, take a jet, bomb it, do whatever you got to do. I want that altar gone. Also, at this point in the story, Marvel is doing this event called Maximum Security, and there's a real brief tie-in, but it's kind of one of the more forgettable stories, but it's not bad. I would definitely recommend picking it up at some point. Basically, in that story, the galactic government of all the different alien races living in the galaxy, all their leaders get together and like they have like this big council to make like galactic scale decisions, and that council assembles and decides that humanity is too dangerous and too intrusive, and that they have become a problem. And a bunch of them are like, well, let's wipe them out. But then there's others that are like, well, I don't think we should wipe them out because a lot of the humans have shown, you know, great qualities. And so they decide on a compromise that Earth will be deemed a prison planet. And so every time anyone in space gets sent to prison, they will get sent to Earth. And them raising hell on Earth will keep humanity busy enough to where they don't interfere with everyone else.
Huh. Not a terrible idea, I guess.
Right. So, and the reason that ties in here is that you find out that resurrection altar, like being so ancient, it actually was never the purpose of it. It's not a resurrection altar. That was really a byproduct. It was actually a teleportation device put there by aliens millennia ago. And so they used that to send the prisoners there. And so, like, while these guys are all out at the resurrection altar trying to, like, argue with each other about what to do and everything, just wave after wave of violent alien prisoners just start swarming in.
Wow. That's fun.
And so they start fighting, they're trying to survive, and they back up into the altar and basically engineer it to, like, it was incidental, but, like, they end up getting teleported to the other one, like the other Stargate, if you will.
Yeah.
So now Ross and T'Challa are on an alien planet.
Oh, fun. Oh, so The other one, as in the other one on the other planet, not another one on Earth
No,
somewhere.
no. Right, so
Great,
they're on an
great,
alien
great.
planet. And then Ross and T'Challa actually get into a fight, which I thought was crazy.
Huh?
Because obviously T'Challa would just wreck Ross in a second. Like he's not even
Right,
like
right,
he's just
right,
some
right.
dude. He's not even some dude who can fight. He's just some
Yeah. That's why I
dude.
was like, huh?
Like
What
he
do you mean
doesn't
a
even
fight? You mean he got
box.
knocked
Like,
out?
but like he just starts flipping out because T'Challa addresses him as friend Ross,
Right.
and he's like, you know what? He's like, stop calling me that. He's like, you are not my friend. And they get in this big argument. He's like, you know, when were you supposed to be my friend? When I was being chased by an elephant through the jungle, when my citizenship was revoked, when I was on this stupid job making myself look like a fool because you used to bang my girlfriend 10 years ago and neither one of you thought to tell me about it. And he's just like, starts just going off on him. And then T'Challa gets pissed and he snaps and he's like, fuck you, dude. Like,
Right.
he's like, I've
Surely
put
had
up,
some pretty intense dialogue there, did they
yeah,
not?
yeah. T'Challa was like, you know, he's like, I trusted you with everything. He's like, I made you king of my nation and chieftain of my clan. Uh, he's like, I trusted you over anyone in my own country. And like they start fighting, dude, and like obviously he doesn't like reckon, but he humors Ross in the fight. Like Ross hits him and then he punches him back and like he throws Ross around like slamming him into shit. He breaks the claws out and everything. Uh, but obviously he's holding back a shit ton. But I just thought it was cool that he did actually humor him. Like, okay, we're fighting.
Right.
So T'Challa,
Instead of completely just dismissing him, like, get at it. No, all right, you want to fight? Here's the fight.
right?
What can you do?
But so T'Challa meets with one of like that prison guards and like shows him his like Avengers card, and so they get teleported back to Earth. And then when they get back, T'Challa just continues searching for Malice, trying to find her. Uh, and also he decides, I guess it's time to fix the economy, and he fixes the Wakandan economy with one move. He switches them from the Wakandan coin to the U.S. dollar.
Huh.
And so now everything's good again. He files a formal protest uh, about Ross's citizenship issue.
Right.
And then the two of them together are like preparing like the funeral proceedings and stuff for the girlfriend. And Storm shows up from the X-Men at the palace. She's like, "Hey, T'Challa," because T'Challa and Storm have like a history also.
Oh.
Like they knew each other when they were kids.
That's
Because
cool.
Storm is from Africa as well. So a bunch of American officials are sent to Wakanda to round up all these alien convicts. And then they get one of them, and one of the aliens is actually speaking what's called Yoruban, which is an ancient African dialect. And they're like, that can't be an alien. And the alien's like, it's looking for its child. And so the Americans start looking. We got an alien child out here trying to find it. And T'Challa's like, no, there's something up here. So he kind of takes the American forces off of the Wakandan satellite grid and like simulates this like routine diagnostic so that he can use the satellites to look for it without the Americans knowing about it. And so him and Storm go out and they try to find the kid because they don't want to see a child go to prison, even if it, like, yeah, it's an alien, but he's still a child. You don't need to lock him up.
Right. Right.
And then when T'Challa gets an alert, like, hey, there's some head of state who's awaiting your presence back at the palace. And he's like, what? Can't catch a break.
Yeah.
So he goes back to the palace, and it's the leader of the Lemurians, Lord Gar. and he reveals that this alien and the child are not aliens; they're Lemurians. And he's like, "You have kidnapped my people. Uh, I want them back, or we'll go to war." And T'Challa's like, "Look, we had thousands of aliens running around here. There was no way to know who was who. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go get them, give them back to you. No big deal. If we had no indication that there were any Lemurians even in the area." And so Lord Gar's like, "You have 1 hour to turn my citizens over to me, and any abuse toward them will be treated as an act of war."
Mm.
So T'Challa turns to Monica and Ross, and he's like, "Well, our trip to America is getting delayed again." So he leaves and meets up with Storm, and they start looking for this kid. And Storm finds the kid, but the kid looks exactly like a human. And because see, in the Lemurian culture, instead of like like the whole thing with the Inhumans, like where they celebrate diversity and everybody's like their own special snowflake or whatever, uh, in Lemuria they discard children like the Spartans did.
Oh, dude.
And this child looks human, and they were going to discard it for that reason.
Dude. That's always a story of vengeance, too, when
Right.
kid comes back later.
So the child looks like a human, but it has the ability to like switch bodies or switch minds with other people. So it's
What?
like Freaky Friday,
That's cool.
So
What's they got to do? Like touch them or something?
I guess so. So Storm finds it, and the child switches bodies with Storm because it's scared.
Oh, shit.
And then they're both attacked by the American forces, and then the child uses Storm's powers in her body to like raise hell and then leave and flies away. And T'Challa comes in and orders the American forces like, "You guys have to stand down." And they're like, we don't answer to you. We're not Wakanda." And he's like, "But you're on my soil. And like, while you're here, all my orders are final, and I'm ordering you to stand down." So Storm and T'Challa hunt down. They find the kid again, and then they convince it that they're not there to threaten at all. And then they go get the mother, and they reunite them. And then the kid switches bodies back with Storm, so they're back to normal. So then they contact Lord Gar to inform him, "Hey, your citizens have been found." But the citizens are like, "We don't want to go with him." And then they tell T'Challa about the fact that they were going to discard the kid. So T'Challa offers them asylum in Wakanda, and Lord Gar declares war on Wakanda because of it.
What?
That was just what a sound.
Wait, did you say so? The Lemurians just declared war.
On Wakanda.
Are they not gonna? Are they not about to get their asses stomped?
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
really.
but if you think about it, they also have an
Yeah,
alliance with Atlantis, and Atlantis has a mutual
Oh
defense
yeah,
pact
that's
with
right. That's
Genosha
right.
and Latveria.
I forgot about all that.
So
Crap.
it's not just
Oh
Lemuria.
boy. Oh boy.
So, okay, Vibraxis,
Yeah.
the guy we were talking about earlier, he has been in America, and he returns to Wakanda because he's having trouble controlling his vibration powers.
Right.
And upon entry, he's like flying a jet, and he flies it through into Wakanda, and like as soon as he gets there, his jet is just blown out of the air by the White Wolf.
Dude.
And then the White Wolf starts shooting at him, and so Vibraxis uses his powers to phase through the bullets. But
Right.
the instability of his powers, combined with like his proximity to the great mound of vibranium, like causes like all kinds of like weird like vibrational sounds and shit, and it makes Claw tangible again.
Oh man, come on, really?
and now he's revived.
And there was a firefight.
And then a pots and pans of robot ninja attacks. So T'Challa, now having his nation at war, stations warships outside of Lemuria conflict due to all these alliances.
Right.
Namor, the leader of Atlantis, and Doctor Doom, the leader of Latveria, conference call with T'Challa. They're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Dude, this sounds like a little bit bigger scale now than what we've been dealing with so far. Just a little bit.
Yeah. And their stance is just give him the child. He's the leader of that country. Those are his people. That child belongs to him. Hand it over. And T'Challa refuses. He's like, no, I'm not doing that. It's like, I'm not handing a child over to be murdered.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if he gives the kid back, they're gonna kill him, right?
Right. But Doctor Doom and Namor don't give two wet shits about that kid.
Two wet shits, huh?
Right. So, White Wolf and Claw meet up, and they go to Libya, and White Wolf reveals that he planned that he brought Claw back on purpose. That's why he attacked Vibraxis. Because the White Wolf brought Claw back because he wants T'Challa to fight Claw to help regain his focus.
Gotcha.
The motivations of the characters
nothing,
in here are crazy.
nothing remotivates. Yeah, but nothing remotivates like rage. Come on
Exactly.
now.
So, T'Challa, Ross, and Monica finally go back to America. Because Ross and T'Challa has to attend a United Nations summit about this war, and Ross is his representation. So Ross and T'Challa, they go to this UN summit, and T'Challa makes one of his advisors in Wakanda named, his name's Wakabi. But it's just face noises. He's the new acting king while T'Challa's gone. He's Vice Panther. Like,
just face noises.
but he makes him acting king while he's gone, since Ross is going home. So they get there. Monica goes home. She's like, I'm done. Storm leaves as well, but she leaves separately because she has to go meet up with the X-Men. And while they're there, Lord Gar of the Lemurians comes on the news, and he claims that Wakanda has surrounded their nation with warships for no reason, and makes T'Challa, even though he was
through most of the.
So Lord Gar of the Lemurians goes on the news and claims that Wakanda has placed warships outside of their nation for no reason, and that he makes Wakanda out to be like a warmonger, even though he was the one that started the war.
Right.
And then
Good old-fashioned propaganda.
Right. And while they're at the summit, there's this small group of Lemurians that decide that they don't want to go to war, and that it would be easier to just assassinate T'Challa here at the summit.
Oh.
So they attack him, and it's just they lose. He whoops the shit out of all of them, like instantly, like they didn't even stand a chance. Like, I don't even remember what they looked like or what their names were, or like
they just got smashed.
Yeah. So he's like, all right, let's finish this summit. And the summit barely
kind of dusts a little bit of debris off his suit, right?
Right. So the summit barely even begins when they have like the news going, and the news shows live footage of an American battleship getting destroyed and reports that it was attacked by a Wakandan warship.
Oh, of course.
And T'Challa's like, no way. There ain't no way in hell. But he can't dispute it. So America ends their alliance with Wakanda.
Dude. Okay, so this is getting a lot more serious, like really quick.
Right.
Dude. I'm perked up now. What? Dude, they're about to get shit on.
Right. So White Wolf and Claw are meeting. for lunch, and while they're talking, it's revealed that Claw is the one who actually sank the battleship
Okay.
and framed T'Challa for it. And then Claw poisons the White Wolf, like not lethally, but enough to like fuck him up so he can leave. It's funny because he says, he's like, your sound powers have no effect on me, you know, blah blah. And he's like, no, but I could pay the waiter $5 to poison you. And then he just like falls over. He's like, oh fuck.
It is remarkable how often and how well timed people who poison other people are about telling them that they're poisoned. Oh, by the way, in the next 30 seconds, that poison will kick in as I talk to you about it, and there's nothing you can do.
Right.
I waited 29
Right
minutes
about
and 22
now.
seconds for the exact
Right.
for the exact metabolism time for your poison to take effect, and I shall monologue now as you fall to the
Yes.
ground.
Monologuing. So then Claw monologues. But no, he's like I'm going to Lemuria to escalate this even more. So scared of like the likelihood of world war, Ross is trying to find T'Challa because after the summit he like took off. He don't know where he's at, and he finds him in like this old high school.
So what do you mean after the summit? What happened at the summit? Did anything get done, or they're still fighting?
No, it got after the summit. Like once that American battleship got sank, they were just like we're reconvening later, but for now, and and it was decided that they no longer had an alliance. But he finds T'Challa in like this old high school, and he's having a secret meeting with Magneto, Namor, and Doom.
What? Really?
Yes. And
The allies of the Lemurians.
yes, because they don't want to go to war.
Right. And it was a dupe.
Yeah. And Magneto declares, he says, Genosha will stand with whatever Atlantis decides.
Dude, could you imagine what Magneto could do with that pile of vibranium?
Right. Yeah. Doom just threatens everyone. He's like, if Latveria is affected at all, I will kill you all. And they're like, yeah.
Right.
We know.
Yeah, we get it.
I know. So then Namor informs T'Challa. He goes, well, I just wanted you to know that I have put Namor, the leader of Atlantis.
Oh, okay.
Namor the Submariner, Marvel's Aquaman.
Alright.
He informs T'Challa. He says, well, I just wanted you to know that I've placed warships around your Wakandan warships that are surrounding Lemuria, and that if Wakanda fires on Lemuria, then Atlantis will fire on Wakanda. And T'Challa's whole thing, T'Challa's like, look, there's something bigger at play here. There's something we're missing. I did not sink that ship, and I think it's safe to say that no one in this room sank that ship because none of us have a reason to. And he says there's also no reason that Lord Gar would fight this war over a child that he just plans on killing.
Right.
He's like, there's something going on. And he goes, we need to hide the child. And Magneto's like, that makes a lot of sense. I agree with that. Turn the child over to me, and I will examine it to see if there's anything unusual about it. And I gotta say, that's not a bad idea. That child's probably could be anywhere safer, because you know he's not going to like experiment on her, because Magneto doesn't buy into human experimentation because of his past.
Right.
And he also reminds everyone that time is of the essence now, that an American battleship has been sank, and that America has decided to stand against Wakanda, which would cause Wakanda's true military capabilities to be revealed to the rest of the world.
What do you mean they would have to use their military?
Yeah, like it's like if America, he's like if America attacks you and you go to war with America, then everyone knows. Everyone knows what you got.
Right, because you're gonna have to use it to beat him,
Right,
or to hold your ground.
Right. So they all agree that Russia and Israel probably will avoid this entire conflict altogether. And they also all agree that none of them sank the battleship, so there must be someone else at play. So T'Challa sends Ross to Lemuria to investigate the significance of this child. And so when he gets there, Ross confronts Lord Gar, and he says, "There's a hidden reason for why you want this child." And then Gar like acknowledges it, but he doesn't say what it is. And then Ross figures it out, and he goes, "Oh, I know what it is. You're the dad."
Oh.
He's like, "You're the dad of the kid. You know what people know. You're fucking the servants or whatever. Like, so you're gonna discard the kid. That's what this is all over." And then Gar like throws him.
Really?
Gar like throws him across the room, but he doesn't admit it. But it's like clearly true.
Right.
Then Claw comes in.
The old guilty reaction.
And then Claw comes in and stabs Lord Gar.
Wait, isn't Claw against T'Chaka?
Yes, but he's also trying to incite this war.
Okay, I gotcha.
So he stabs Lord Gar, and like as he screams, Claw like saves like a sample of like his voice print and uses it to order a missile launch on Wakanda.
Oh, fuck.
And then, so back in America, T'Challa's still trying to wrap his head around shit. When Namor comes back,
Did I say T'Chaka?
Yeah.
I did say T'Chaka.
T'Chaka was T'Challa's dad.
I know.
But so Namor comes
Mouth
back
noises.
and like kind of like pushes up on T'Challa and kind of like attacks him a little bit. And he's like, and he accuses him. He says, "You tricked me into a peace meeting so that you could order an attack on Atlantean warships." And T'Challa is like, "I have no idea what you're talking about. I issued no such order." And he's like, "Well, you're either a king of fools or you're a king of liars." And he goes, and
You're breaking up. You broke up that whole thing.
what whole thing? Like what? What was the last thing you heard?
You tricked me.
Okay, yeah. He says, "You tricked me into a peace summit so that you could attack my warships without me knowing about it." And T'Challa's like, I issued no order. I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't attacked your warships." And Namor pretty much says, "You're either a fool or you're a liar." And then Namor challenges
Right.
T'Challa to a duel. He says, "No need for war, no need for armies. One-on-one, man-to-man, me and
Oh
you
boy.
for this entire conflict." And Magneto like breaks him
Dude.
up.
Who do you think would win?
I don't know, man. Like they're pretty badass, both of them. That would be a good event. But Magneto breaks him up, and he tells him what actually happened. He goes, "Here's the thing, T'Challa." He goes, "Technically, you did give the order because when you stationed your warships, your order was fire only if fired upon."
Yeah.
And then when Claw launched that missile, so Lemuria initiates a missile launch that's going to hit Wakanda. When it opens the missile silos, the silos flood with water, and the Wakandans saw this and were like, they're launching missiles. So they like preemptively turned over and attacked the Atlanteans so that they could attack the Lemurians before they could launch the missile.
Oh.
So
Okay.
war has now begun.
Right. Wait, did you say Wakanda ships fired on Atlantean ships first?
Yes, because Lemuria was launching a missile, and they knew that if they attacked Lemuria, then the Atlanteans would attack them. So they went ahead and attacked the Atlanteans first.
Right. That's just a strange tactic, though.
Right.
At least in my mind, it sticks out as a strange tactic.
Right.
But
But
I mean, I get it though.
right. So T'Challa apologizes. He's like, "Look, I'll order my troops to stand down right now," and then Claw attacks.
Of course he does.
Right. So Claw,
Anyway, he just like stumbled into this room, this secret meeting room, like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm here to cut your throat."
right. Well, I mean, at this point,
But
like
still,
they were
I-
like out in the street, like because
Okay, all
because
right.
like they all went to leave, and then as they were leaving, Namor and Magneto came back, and they were like out in the street.
Okay.
So Claw tells T'Challa that he was the one that sank the American battleship and the one that ordered the missile launch on Wakanda. So T'Challa just whoops the fuck out of him, like
Right, right.
beats
But did he
his
say that in front of the other
ass,
leaders too? Just let everybody know that, hey, I'm the one that caused this.
pretty much.
Okay. Well, you monologue too much, you damn villain.
Right. So T'Challa just beats his ass, and then he runs away. But before he runs away, he destroys T'Challa's like communication devices. So T'Challa can't communicate with his people, and he's in America.
Oh shit.
So T'Challa goes and meets back up with Namor, and he apologizes again. And he's like, "Look, I didn't want my forces to attack your ships." And he goes, "I've sent damage control units to the area. I was able to get the word out before my communication devices were destroyed, but the Atlanteans are firing on them as they get there." And Namor's like, "Well, what do you expect? Like they were fired upon."
Right.
And so
So now it's an all-out race to stop the war from like escalating beyond this first little tussle
yes.
before it just starts exploding off all over the planet.
So back in Wakanda, Wakabi, Vice Panzer, puts Wakanda on high alert because there's a missile launching coming. Or it was. I guess they stopped it, but so he's like, all right, we're just going to go ahead and evacuate just in case something else happens. But as they're evacuating, the Atlantis invasion force starts landing in Wakanda. So
Oh boy.
it's more than just one skirmish at this point, and then which of course this brings out the Wakandan army to defend themselves.
Right,
And
right.
so
Here
these
we
armies,
go.
yeah,
Well, it's happening whether you want it to or not. It's
Yeah.
happening. Buckle
yeah.
up.
So these
Buckle up,
armies,
Spanky.
so these armies are like just locked in battle. And also, America jumps in, and they're providing support for Atlantis and Lemuria by dropping airstrikes and firing missiles at Wakanda.
Oh man.
Fortunately,
Wakanda's getting
right. Fortunately,
its
none
nose
of
busted right
fortunately
now.
none of America's attacks are capable of penetrating Wakanda's defenses at the moment. So T'Challa tells Namor, he's like, "Look, I want to end the war. You want to end the war. My communication device is destroyed. If I try to call my people from something else, I'm gonna have to go through like 30 levels of identification." And he's like, "The fastest, easiest way to end this war right now is for you to surrender." And Namor's like, "I'm not gonna surrender. Like, what are you talking about?"
Right.
And then finally he agrees. But he's like, "I have one non-negotiable condition." But that condition is not revealed. He says, "If I am to risk it all, then so will you."
Oh shit. Oh, dude, that's such a gambit, dude.
Right. So Namor leaves to go meet his troops and issue a surrender. When Claw comes back, and him and T'Challa start fighting again. So Namor's troops withdraw, and Ross, he's trying to make a deal with Gar because he survived the stabbing. He's over there trying to make a deal with him to end the war. So you got all these players in all these different areas. Everybody's just trying to stop the war. So T'Challa and Claw are still fighting. Their fight drags on for a while, and then eventually T'Challa like gets a good upper hand on him and just blinds him, like gets him right in the eyes with the claws, just blinds him, and then he executes him in the middle of a New York City street.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, I'm done with Claw.
Executes, as in kills.
Yeah, he's dead. He killed him.
Oh man.
Killed him. Just killed him.
You know it's serious when it gets to that, when it gets to death. point
Yeah,
in these stories so far. It's like, yeah, well, you've done enough. It's over. It's fine. It's
yeah,
over. No jail, no sanctions. You're dead.
right. So like this crowd starts forming around him because they see T'Challa like execute this guy. But they all think of T'Challa as like this crazy dictator who's going around starting wars because of the news.
Right. Right.
So they swarm him and they're like, "We're gonna fuck you up, bro." And then the police step in and place T'Challa under arrest.
Again, this man needs to stay away from America.
He really does. He really does. At this point, it's just like, come on, man, what are you doing?
Dude, every time. Every time.
So, back in Wakanda, the war's waging on, and Queen Divine Justice and Vibraxis are trapped under like a bunch of rubble. And then like they have like this big, there's like a side story thing about them being in like a relationship, and it's a big scandal because she's a Dora Milaje and he's just some dude. But it's not really all that interesting, honestly. Uh,
Oh yeah.
but they're into each other, and it's a scandal.
Because
Really
it's
odd.
not supposed to happen, right?
Right.
Because they're already
Right.
pre-married,
Right.
like pre-cooked vegetables.
Yep.
Pre-married.
So they're trapped, but then all of a sudden they're rescued by Namor. And
Really?
yes, and then Namor kind of
I
like
thought you said this guy was like Aquaman,
yeah, he is.
but he's also badass above water too, out of water too. I take
Yeah,
it.
so is Aquaman.
Uh,
But at this point, he kind of like reveals what his condition was, and the condition was he gets to take custody of the child.
huh.
So he saves them and takes the child from them. So Ross shows back up in America right as T'Challa's being arrested, but once again he's Ross and he's like not even paying attention, so he's just like walking through this crowd, like what's going on, and everybody's
So
like,
he's not even paying attention.
kill that motherfucker, kill him, he's a piece of shit, dump him in the river, cut him up, and he's just like, and then he sees him, he's like, hey T'Challa, he's like, dude, I saved the day, I am without a doubt the man. And T'Challa's like, what do you mean? He goes, I got it all worked out, dude. I made the deals. The war's over. He's like, what do you mean? And he walks him through
Right.
what he did. So Ross is like, first, I acquired a falsified death certificate from Wakanda stating that the child had been killed by a collapsing roof during the U.S. missile attack. Wink, wink. And then Gar produces a corpse from the attack on Lemuria to pass off as the child.
Really?
He goes, and then I drafted a 132-page treaty that stated that Lemuria would withdraw their troops without surrendering, of course, and they let the real child live in Atlantis under Namor's protection. Then I got Dr. Doom to provide timestamped GPS photography with infrared and sonar scans from Latvian satellites proving that Wakanda did not sink the American battleship. And the U.S.
Wait, what?
He got
Ross did all this?
yes.
Dude,
He is a badass lawyer and a dealer.
I didn't know Saul Goodman was in this story.
Right.
Ah, ah, ah,
And he definitely reminds me a lot of Saul Goodman too, actually. So the U.S. government orders a ceasefire while they're analyzing the data. And then Ross tells T'Challa all this, and then he's like, "Oh wait, why are you in handcuffs?" And he's like, "Oh, you killed Claw! Oh my god!" And then he's like, "Uh-oh, we're surrounded by an angry mob." And like throwing bottles at him, like that's his friend. And so T'Challa just like breaks out of the handcuffs, like just stomps the little chain with his vibranium boots. Gets him to safety away from the mob.
Right.
So later, the Senate Intelligence Committee is meeting in closed session with T'Challa and Ross as his lawyer to figure out what exactly has been going on. They maintain that T'Challa does have diplomatic immunity, so he will not be brought up on any charges. But they're here to determine whether or not he should be allowed to visit America. And they bring forth like a bunch of these character witnesses. The first one is Captain America.
Okay.
And Cap says, he pretty much says that T'Challa and his actions warrant no more concern than me and mine. And you don't have me in here.
Huh.
And he
What do
said,
you know? He
right.
actually said something smart.
And then they're like, well, what about the fact that he only joined your team, the Avengers, to spy on you? And he's like, well, I can't say I was thrilled about that, but I feel that he had a reasonable question of our motives at the time. So next, they call up Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, well, what about you? You know T'Challa. What do you think of him? And he's like, I really feel like that T'Challa had a reasonable curiosity and a reasonable suspicion about American super people cropping up everywhere. So, I mean, I can see where it's coming from. So then they call up the cop that T'Challa saved. And she's like, oh, he's a hero. He's a hero. And then Ross starts talking. He's like, here's the thing you guys don't understand. He's not really a hero. Like, he's not a superhero. That's not what he is. He's not Spider-Man. He's not Wolverine. He's not Captain America or Iron Man.
Right,
He's the Black Panther. He's like, that's not a costume. That's ceremonial garb. That's his culture. He was like, he is the king of a nation, and he doesn't need America for anything. He's like, you don't have. He's like, you don't have to have this hearing. It's not necessary. If you don't want him here, tell him not to come, and he won't. And we'll all be worse off for it. So they decide that T'Challa is welcome in America.
Right, because the decision means nothing to him either way. So it's like, oh, well, why
Right.
not, right?
Exactly.
He don't need us.
So
Nothing to gain here.
but now that Ross's girlfriend is dead, they also appoint him a new boss. And and Ross, remember, his boss was his girlfriend, and now she's dead.
Oh yeah, okay, yep. I forgot about that fact.
So they're appointing him a new boss. And the new boss is a character in Marvel Comics. His name is Henry Gyrick. Basically, his deal is he was.
That's a cool name. I like the guy Rick.
But see, like, the Avengers have a government liaison also, like T'Challa did with Ross. And Henry Gyrick was their liaison for a long time. But he's a major fucking douchebag, and he hates them all. And he's always like raining on the parade. But now he's got that job. So, after the hearing, everything's over. Everything's calming down. T'Challa goes to Monica's place, and he proposes to her and asks her to be queen of Wakanda and come back home with him.
Really?
Yeah. And she turns him down. She's like, nah, I'm good.
It's only like one of the most powerful positions you could possibly hold. One of the most technologically advanced
And you're a
civilizations
failed,
out there.
yeah.
Not to mention you be married to the Black Panther of a badass here. No, but no, okay, cool.
Yeah. Also, you're a failed jazz musician and a waitress. But, so he leaves. He's like, well. And Ross goes home. Once again, everything's winding down. Ross goes home and finds Mephisto in his apartment waiting for him.
I thought Mephisto got killed, didn't he?
Mm-mm. Due to T'Challa's deal with Mephisto,
Or he got sent back, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He got sent back to like hell. But the deal was that Mephisto could no longer appear before T'Challa and could not interfere with any Wakandans.
Yep.
So he goes to Ross.
Right.
All right. So T'Challa stays in America because he's like, we do still have one more problem, and that's that we haven't found Malice.
Right.
And T'Challa has this female cousin who lives in America. Her face noise is Mikoni. Got Mikoni, T'Challa, Wakabi, macaroni, wasabi.
Anchovies. Oh, cool.
But he reaches out to her. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be in America for a little bit." And Malice comes across these like spores that she can use to like control men.
Siren spores, huh?
Right. Basically, it's
Yeah.
like a little bra, and she just like jams it in their neck.
Oh. Well, a lot more violent then.
Right. So she uses one of the spores to seduce Makoni's husband to get information on T'Challa. And then she kills him. And then Makoni, T'Challa's cousin, hires a PI. Her name's Dakota North. To confirm it. She wants to know if it's actually true, and then she finds out, yeah, it was all true. Like, your husband cheated on you because of the spores, and then she killed him.
Damn.
So then Malice goes to like this police officer, gets him with one of the spores, and like kind of enslaves him to help her like get around the city and shit. Because wherever you're looking for her, I guarantee it's not in a cop car.
Right, fair enough. Damn good idea.
Right. So at this point, T'Challa, like, he puts protective surveillance on everyone close to him. He's like, everyone I know and love, we're putting detail on. Because Malice is out here doing crazy shit. So then he hires that same PI, Dakota North, to protect Monica. And then he tracks down Malice, and he finally finds her, and he finds her outside of the Wakandan embassy, where there's like a large group of people protesting, and she's in the group.
Yeah.
So T'Challa like enters the group in disguise with like this big robe thing on, but she sees him, and she attacks him, and they start fighting. But the crowd thinks that T'Challa is just attacking some young girl.
Again, the
Yeah.
warmonger guy.
So
Yep,
they
crazy dick.
like, he's beating up that little girl. So like they
The
jump.
Mad King.
Yeah, so they jump him and they start whooping the shit out of him, and then that cop shows up that's been working with Malice, but instead of like trying to like break up the fight or anything, he just guns everyone down,
What the dude?
and he shoots T'Challa a bunch too, but he doesn't die because he's T'Challa, but everyone else dies, and then they drag T'Challa away.
I take it he didn't have his suit.
He did. That's why he's alive.
Oh, okay.
But so then Malice gets this priest with the spore and has him looking around the city for Monica as like a spy. He's like, find this bitch and kill her.
Right.
Because now she's got T'Challa. So she's got him like tied up naked in the motel room and is trying to get him to like submit to the spores so that he'll fall in love with her. But he's like resistant to it because he's the Black Panther.
Right.
And see, like I was saying, he's got security detail on all his people. And part of that was he actually arranged for Queen Divine Justice and his mother, Ramonda, his stepmother. He's like, bring them to America so we can protect them. So nothing can happen to them. So they're on their way to America when M'Baku just like burst out of the cargo hold and it's like, I've been hiding in the jet. And then he takes the jet.
Really?
He's like, I brought my pet T-Rex. So he like hijacks the jet and he like
He got a laser beam on his freaking head.
right. So like he hijacks the jet and he like shoots down like the escort jets, but like in the process he like crashes the jet in the jungle, so they're all fucked up. Then back in the city, Monica and the PI Dakota that's protecting her they're out shopping because Monica's like, we're not in danger. Trust me, I've known Black Panther for years. Like, the only reason he put you regarding me was to take you out of play so you wouldn't get hurt either. And she's like, I don't think so. And he's like, well, let me ask you this. When he told you to watch me, did he say be obvious about it? She's like, yeah. He goes, yeah, I knew he would. That's what he does. So I'm just going to go watch a movie and go shopping. You can hang out if you want. So they're out shopping. And then while they're shopping, they're attacked by the cop and the priest because they found them out in the city. Because they actually were in danger. Yeah. And so Dakota saves Monica, helps her escape.
Nice. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
I think she's like killing the cop. Like there's a big gunfight. So then T'Challa's security force breaks into the motel room and rescues him. They're like, we found him. And then they hit him with the Narcan to bring him down off the spores. I thought that was funny.
Good old Narcan, huh?
So then while they're getting everything settled, Okoye requests, she goes, I would like to be the one to receive the order to kill Malice because we were Dora Milaje together and she has disgraced us all.
Right.
And T'Challa's like, okay, I mean, if that's what you want, go for it. So, but they still haven't captured her because she's still out raising hell.
Right. Right.
So then Malice doses Makoni, T'Challa's cousin. She doses that chick sleeping pills to kill her, but she only takes half of one to fall asleep, so she just ends up in the hospital.
Okay, lucky.
So then Malice goes to the hospital and to try to like kill her while she's in the ICU, but like laying in the hospital bed wrapped up in bandages, it's actually Okoye posing as the other one, and then she jumps up and subdues Malice, and she's like, in the name of Wakanda, by order of King T'Challa, you know, blah blah blah, titles, like I sentence you to death and execute you. But before she executes her, T'Challa shows up and orders her to stand down. And she's like, what? And then T'Challa just like slashes the shit out of her back with his claws and like fucks her up. And then he kisses Malice because he's obviously now under the influence of the spores, the Narcan or whatever didn't work.
Okay, I was sitting there trying to like, wait, what? Wait, the Narcan did what? It didn't help?
It didn't help, apparently.
Damn. And now he really is the Mad King.
Right.
Great.
So,
didn't they just make peace with America, too? For
right.
Christ's sake.
Right. You fucking people.
Can't there be peace for a second? Can Black Panther get a sandwich, man? Damn.
Can I make a sandwich, please? It's Christmas. Can I put the tree up? Like what's up, man? Like,
yeah, issue 23. T'Challa gets Subway and chills with it. Yeah.
Right.
And then the Space Hulk appears.
Space Hulk. And Santa Claus is firing rockets.
Oh man, this poor bastard, dude. I never thought I'd feel sorry for the Black Panther, but dude, good God.
Right. So, back in Wakanda, M'Baku is chasing Queen Divine Justice through the jungle, trying to kill her. And he's like monologuing while he does it, of course.
Of course.
And he like reveals to her that Malice broke him out of Wakandan prison in exchange for killing her. However, he stops once he realizes that Queen Divine Justice is of the Jabari tribe. She's the Dora Milaje from his tribe, but he's been in prison, so he didn't know that.
Right.
That was like a peace thing that T'Challa had done earlier. So he's like, you're in my tribe. He's like, not only are you in my tribe, like your lineage is like you should be running shit. I bow to you. Like lead he's like lead the Jabari tribe.
Whoa.
And
okay.
So back in America, Dakota and Monica go confront the Wakandan guy that gave T'Challa the Narcan, and they find one of the spores in his neck, and they find out that he actually injected T'Challa with a more potent version of the spore.
No, so it was okay. Yeah, no Narcan then. Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
So then they infiltrate the
Wait,
Wakanda.
you knew that. You knew that, and you said it wasn't effective.
Yeah, I know. But
You went along with your own story here.
right. So then they infiltrate the Wakandan embassy to try and save T'Challa, but they find out that he's actually not under the control of the spores. That him and Okoye planned that whole thing. He expected to be exposed,
Dude.
so he like lined his suit with these like antitoxin patches, and he's been pretending to be under the influence of it so that he could try and stop Malice without killing her.
Dude. Nice.
Like that whole attack on Okoye was fabricated. I mean, he may have actually done it. It looked pretty brutal in the panels, but I don't know if she's in on it or what. But he's like, but this stupid rescue attempt that you're doing right now just fucked everything up, and now Malice knows that I'm lying. And he goes, so now I gotta kill her.
Right. See, he has Malice in custody, right? Or like there with him, right?
Yeah. And then they broke into the rescue.
Right.
And he's like, you're fucking everything up. The plan's falling apart. So it's like, now I gotta kill her.
Pack your shit.
So they start fighting. They like go flying out the window and all the crazy comic book stuff. And they end up in the streets. And they end up like on top of this box truck that's going down the highway. And they're fighting on top of it. And then it like goes through a tunnel, and they both get slammed by the tunnel. But T'Challa's vibranium suit protects him.
Not her.
And then, when he gets up, she's gone. She's disappeared. He don't know what happened.
Oh, okay, so she's still alive.
Yeah, I'd say it's safe to say she's got some brain damage or something, though. I mean, damn, that's a whap.
Right. What'd you do today? I hit a brick wall going 40 miles an hour. How'd that feel? Not great, George. Not great.
Been better. Seen better days, man. Seen better days. So back at Ross's place, he wakes up and finds out that is in Mephisto's body, and Mephisto has like stolen his body and his life.
Wait, what? What? Hold on. Huh?
Ross.
They switched play. They Freaky Friday'd?
Yep. They Freaky Friday.
Dude.
So he's walking around
Dude,
looking
if
like
I
the
was,
devil.
you know what? If I was T'Challa at this point, I just hand him the keys to Wakanda. Be like, I quit. I'm done. I give. Dude, I'm gonna go make a fucking sandwich, dude. Seriously. God.
Right. So Ross
Talk
goes
about
to
tryhards.
So Ross goes to the Wakandan embassy to try to get T'Challa's help, but everybody there thinks he's Mephisto, so they like start attacking him and won't let him in. So then he goes to Avengers Mansion to try to get their help, but like the automated defenses at the mansion are like registered Mephisto attack. So like he's getting attacked by the mansion, and it's like everywhere he goes, he's just getting his ass whooped.
I wonder if that's a loophole, because he's not technically appearing as Mephisto. Ross, the body of Ross, with Mephisto being in him.
Right.
If he goes in front of T'Challa, is he breaking that loophole, I wonder?
Oh, good question. Actually, I don't think so, because he's not appearing. He's not like revealing himself. He's not appearing before him.
Right.
So yeah, I guess that was his loophole. So Vibraxis, since he's into Queen Divine Justice and he hears that she's in the Jabari village and her and Ramonda are apparently prisoner, he doesn't know that they're not actually in any danger. So he finds out about it and he decides that he's going to go to the village and he's going to save her. And then T'Challa finds out that Vibraxis is doing this, and he's like, damn it, now I gotta go to Wakanda and save him, or he's gonna get his ass killed.
Dude.
So, so T'Challa goes back to Wakanda, but Henry Gyric's like, I'm going with you. So he's like, all right, you can come. So they
Hey,
both,
hold on just 1 second. Hold on.
yeah.
Alright. I am back. Sorry. I heard a very loud noise, and I was wondering what it was.
Arose such a clatter.
What's that?
I said, arose such a clatter.
Oh,
So anyway, the two of them go to Wakanda, and they get there, and they find Vibraxis knocked out. They find out that he was actually knocked out by M'Baku's maids. And so then M'Baku tells Queen Divine Justice the story of the Jabari tribe. You know, about how they were outlawed. And he reveals to her, like, he goes, your parents were Jabari, but they were exiled to America by T'Challa. That's why he chose you to be Dora Milaje. And then M'Baku issues a tribal challenge for the throne. And T'Challa accepts, but he's like, but I choose a champion to fight in my stead. And he's like, who? And he goes, Henry Gyrick, right here. This guy. Fight him. I'll be right back. And so M'Baku just like charges him and starts beating his ass. And okay, so back in America, Ross in Mephisto's body, still trying to get around. He goes to Doctor Strange's place, the Sanctum Sanctorum, and he's like, surely this guy can help me get my body back. But when he gets there, the Defenders are all there, and they're like congregated. Because the thing about the Defenders in this area, it's Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, the Hulk. There's a character Hellcat, and there's like a couple others. They're basically under this curse that whenever the world is under a threat that no single character can handle, they are like magically bound to be near each other, so they have to team up.
Really?
Yeah. And so they're there, congregated, like trying to figure out what the threat is.
Did you say the Hulk too?
Yeah, the Hulk is one of them. It's just like a whole big bunch of like unlikely allies. A Silver Surfer from space, the Hulk, Doctor Strange.
The wise one, what's the teacher's name in Doctor Strange? The girl?
The ancient one.
Yeah, the ancient one where in the newest Avengers movie where she like knocks Hulk's spirit out of him.
Yes.
It's kind of connected like that. It just made me think of that. Like, oh, the Hulk's connected with these.
Yes.
With the Defenders, huh?
He's one of the founding members. Hulk is a founding member of the Avengers and the Defenders.
Interesting.
But oh, go ahead.
I assume you mean Bruce Banner, right?
No. Well, I mean, yes and no. It's a little complicated. It's the Hulk.
Right.
Because you never know whose mind is in whose body. And,
right.
but the Defenders are there, and then they see Mephisto, and dude, they whooped the absolute shit out of Ross. Dude, but like because of like whatever the curse is, they like swap the bodies. It's like protecting it as well, so like he can't be killed. But they're like cutting his head off, and then it pops back, and they're like just they're absolutely fucking him up.
Is he not trying to tell him? Like,
yeah,
hey,
dude, yeah,
hey,
he is. But it's Mephisto. Like we don't believe you. Like
right.
So Doctor Strange intervenes, and he's like somehow magically able to determine that this isn't Mephisto. And he goes, actually, the being that stole your body isn't even actually Mephisto, but someone impersonating him.
Dude,
But before he
how
can,
many more layers, dude? I feel like we're peeling an endless onion here, and I'm
right,
starting to tear up. I'm starting to tear up here.
right. But before he can reveal who it is, Mephisto, quote, in Ross's body walks in and just knocks everyone out with this like magic shockwave of some kind. So this kind of ends that discussion, so you don't get to know who it is. So back in Wakanda, Henry Gyrick is in this duel. He's trying to just like dodge and talk his way through the duel.
Right.
And then T'Challa gets Vibraxis and Queen Divine Justice to safety, and then once they're out, he comes back, tags himself back in, whoops the shit out of M'Baku. he's like, you mind if I take over? And Henry's like, please do.
Right.
So, but Vibraxis like loses control of his powers again, and like releases this like destructive vibrational wave through the area, and this massive ice block cracks and like falls down, and M'Baku points it out, and he goes, that's the real reason T'Challa made the Jabari lands forbidden. And they all look over at the ice, and there's another Black Panther encased in the ice.
What?
And M'Baku's like, that's the real T'Challa, that's the real Black Panther, and this guy's an imposter, and that's why he outlawed my tribe and made these lands forbidden.
Just wait. Time out. Hold on. Is this real? This whole time, dude? Really? What?
Well, in order to find out like exactly what's up, you'll have to tune in next week.
No, man. What? This is like the Deadpool reveal. Like, oh, this is not actually what? Is he one of them thingamabobbies? The bobbamajigger?
Scrolls.
Thank you, that guy.
No, I will tell you that much. That there are no scrolls involved, except for maybe Captain America. The jury's still out on that one.
Yeah, but if he's an imposter, then why is he acting?
I mean, he might not be an imposter. We don't know what the explanation is. That's just M'Baku's claim, is that he's an imposter.
Well, regardless, there's another Black Panther.
Right.
Man, these plot twists are starting to get to me, and I don't even like. I'm not even reading this stuff. I'm just hearing it. What? Now you gotta legitimately pull me in on the next one because I'm curious. I want to know who this is. Man.
Also, I do have the comic saved in the library of the app.
I know.
I'm just saying. Moorcat has jumped in on some of those. Not the Black Panther. I don't think he's reading a lot of like Iron Man stuff.
All right, man. That was interesting.
Right.
I was actually able to keep up with that one. It was less convoluted, but definitely. Or maybe I came more prepared.
Right. Last time you were coming off of Deadpool and Inhuman stories, and then you were like, wait, what? What?
What?
A triple cross?
Yeah, but no, like my takeaway, one of the memories I got already of this is just imagining Deadpool chilling out on an asteroid in the middle of space, just frustrated and steaming. And like, how the hell did you imagine coming across that? Like, how the hell did you? What? What's going on here?
Yeah, the stars ever show up. Hey, need a ride? Like, we're on a mission. Fuck no. I'm good.
It's like an infinite side quest chain on Skyrim.
Yeah.
Like, no, dude, just stop. I decline. Skip.
Right. Skip.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I take it we have reached the conclusion of our podcast here.
Yes. And we will be we'll be continuing the Christopher Priest run of Black Panther next week. We have 2 more parts. more condensed and a little easier, more easily digested than the first two
Right.
parts.
I
Yeah,
actually enjoyed this one though. Like the first one, like I said, it kept me struggling, but I enjoyed this one. There was more going on, but I was also more familiar with the story. So it's not like
right,
a deep introduction to. Oh, and by the way, here's this entire universe and here's its components.
right,
It's like, all right, you've already got your ground basis. All right, so now today we're gonna bake a pie. You know.
right. Where's the rest? So next week we'll be doing part 3, and if you'll remember, that's where I originally jumped into this story for the first time.
Was it really?
Yeah, the
No,
first
I did
time.
not.
Yeah, we talked about the first time. That was where you got the whole like, here's a box of pasta, make me a pizza. Like, where's the rest? Like,
Oh yeah. Okay.
because I just saw the Black Panther trade at the comic book shop, and I thought it was a good deal, and I just picked it up, and I was like, dude, this is gonna be pretty cool. And I started reading. I was like, I don't need the first 2 parts. I've been reading Marvel comics for 20 years.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yep.
And then I started getting into it. I'm like, dude, what? Who? Like, like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Right. But all right, man, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here and get some shut eye. I'm quite tired. Been up since about 8 this morning.
Right, yeah, I need to go grab a bite of food myself.
Prepare for the old night shift, are you?
That's right. Because I'm one of those lame adults that works for money.
Oh man, can't believe it. I can't.
I know.
If I would have known that, I wouldn't even ever join the podcast.
Right. So, also, I think that we still have more cat watching. I'm not sure. We have a viewer. I know he's been in and out. But I also wanted to talk to you, let you know that because he's been reading some of these comics, and after we finish this Black Panther series, I'm gonna try to get him to come on as well.
Ooh.
Although it will be someone else who has read the comics, so you can you can either not read them and be the odd man out, which is cool. You don't gotta read them, but I would recommend it. Also, if anyone who's still hanging in there at this far into the video, sneak peek, after we finish the Black Panther series, we're going to do an episode on dun 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 Daredevil.
Oh, fun stuff. To be honest with you, I prefer it this way. I prefer hearing it. It's storytelling. If I read the comics beforehand, I know what's going to happen.
Right.
This is good old-fashioned storytelling, man. This is almost a dead art nowadays.
Oh yeah, for sure. Story mode.
Yes, sir. All right, well, I'm going to sign off, man. Raise hell, eat cornbread.
All right.
All right.
We'll catch you later.
This educated redneck's going to bed.
Right.
Talk to you later, Benicio.
Peace. So, anyone who is still listening, we do have 2 more installments, 2 more episodes on this Black Panther run scheduled. Then after that, we're going to do a week on Daredevil, and then we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. Also, going to be doing some Let's Plays on Mass Effect Andromeda. I love the Mass Effect series. Always been a big fan. Going to have a lot of fun with it. Also, still working on the Couch Co-op compilation with The Realist. We've got some Black Ops Zombies footage to mix in with the DK Country. Going to do a lot of different types of games through the ages on that. Once we get that edited, that's going to be awesome. And, we'll probably put some videos out, just whatever we feel like doing. Might be some Warzone, might be some Titanfall, you never know. But you can access any of this stuff. You can go to our YouTube channel, Story Mode Live Gaming. You can hit up our Twitch stream, which is story_mode_official. And we also post links to both of those channels on our Twitter page at storymode_live. And if for some reason none of that works for you, feel free to email us directly at storymodegamesofficial@gmail.com. Any suggestions, anything you guys want to see in the podcast or in any of the Let's Play videos or anything, any kind of ideas, any interaction that you feel. Look forward to hearing from you. Glad you guys could join in. And as always, press start.